Probably hear Caroline.
Ooh, what? I still can't hear Willa.
Yeah, commune with nature. I got to commune with nature. I can talk with Willa, right?
Could be worse. Could be your Russian voice.
My Euro, whatever.
Your Euro eclectic voice.
I'm usually pretty good at keeping those accents separated, but for some reason with Elizabeth, like I'm having such a problem.
We'll borrow a pencil probably too. I need to go buy one when it comes to waiting to. I always think about it like about 5 o'clock on Monday. It's like, oh shit.
Hello.
What?
You have one in your notepad.
Well, supposedly I do.
It's in Rachel's backpack.
It's usually not a problem. I bring a whole mass of them every single time.
Bring a mass of what? A pencil?
Pencil.
Just in case.
Yeah, and I bring my.
I have a pencil, but it doesn't write. It only writes on
Do you want
my boogie board.
Oh, he writes on plastic.
Yeah, pretty much. See, that's why I get it so I can take notes with it, and then it's like etch a sketch.
So let me get this straight. Your imaginary pencil draws on an imaginary board, creating real ideas.
It thinks it's like fashion vogue because it calls itself a stylist.
Wow, that was an ultimate dad joke.
I had to work for that.
I missed it.
Yeah.
It calls itself fashion vogue.
Why did you have a joke ready to go?
Fashion vogue.
Was there any cuddlingus involved?
Huh? That was like I had to get a really started that one.
Cutting linguist? Cutting
Master
linguist?
debater.
That was the segment. Did you see the commercial Sam Riegel did with the Master Debaters?
No.
Oh yeah, it was pretty
It
funny.
was his campaign.
Well, every now and then
for
they.
D&D Beyond president.
Yeah, every now and then somebody comes along and like strings all of his commercials together in a video. I usually wait till that happens and I just watch them all.
Oh my god,
So
it's
funny.
so ridiculous.
Because honestly, watching their show, you could watch the first 15 minutes, then the 5 minutes before break, the 5 minutes after break, and then the last 15 minutes of the session. And you pretty much get the gist of the whole session. Still, It's easy. I usually wait for like episode 25, 50, 75, 100. Those tend to be benchmark episodes. And I wait for the story drop.
I watch them all just because of the kind of person I am. I can't stay.
I totally forgot.
Such a great.
Like I cannot do that whole like.
You're a
spark
video
notes.
grazer.
I can't spark notes.
You're a
You're
great.
video
You're like, I'm not going to
grazer.
watch everyone. I'm going to watch 75, 100. I'm going to watch 50.
Okay, so
Only the good ones for me. I don't even waste my time. I only watch the first 10 minutes of each one and the last 10 minutes. It'll tell you everything.
I think the first.
Rick is here.
First campaign.
Where's Morty?
They haven't cooped up for a couple weeks.
I know, right?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. Jeez, Rick.
Like
I mean,
like Morty before he goes
You
back
really
up.
got to kill everybody, Rick? Can't we just leave a few people? I just want to go out with Jessica.
I feel like more of a Morty before he grew his spine. Because in the later seasons he grew kind of his spine.
Oh no, Morty.
I like the whole thing where he lives his whole life. They get in the plane wreck. They get in the plane
That's a
wreck
good
and
one.
they eat
Yeah.
people and
From American Dad.
they survive and then
Exactly.
everything happens and then he accidentally hits the reset button.
That was like,
I would have taken the batteries or something.
Come on, you think that Rick would make something that you could take the batteries out of?
he's probably the reason we have the cell phones we have today.
Oh,
Yeah, there'd be a
brother,
piece
here
of
it goes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my 12 wild white apes. How do I put those in? Do I put those in as pets or army?
Oh, come on. Did my watch not charge? How come?
You get nothing.
My
I
gold
had this
white
on the charger,
dragon.
It's not been plugged into the wall or something.
ancient, super
I
ancient
don't know what
gold white dragon, half and half.
All right, it's up there.
You get nothing.
Thanks a lot.
That was for the first.
Because I'll just watch you kill it, eat it, or feed it to bird pet.
No, I'll take it to like.
in hopes that it gets like indigestion and dies.
No, I'll take it to the vet and tell him I just put it down. I can't take care of it anymore. It got too big. It got way bigger than I thought it was gonna get.
Yeah, like when you buy a little snake and after a year it's like fills up. Yeah.
My brother had
Baby alligators.
I didn't
Yeah.
know the dog was gonna poop in my
still have to
house, so I
edit
just
my
want to.
hair so much more.
They're horrible.
See, yeah, I did a lot of customization this afternoon. I didn't sleep. That's why I drink coffee. Quite chunks of
Bad. He's so bad.
So what's up with the
Why did you
issue?
drink it then?
because I need the caffeine or I should fall asleep.
Because you're level 10.
Get a
D&D,
Red Bull.
we converted.
Red Bull, Red Bull,
Rebels
Red Bull,
is broken
Red Bull,
too.
Red Bull.
I
Rebel?
don't think we have
One Red Bull, one Red Bull, and really triple.
Well, I mean, the hard part, so I guess the hard part about making a dwell
So I was
is
surprised.
your dominant dwarf, recessive elf.
That's what I was thinking because I figured because I like the dwarven toughness.
I
That's about the only thing that's good about the dwarf that I like. It's just
I made
You can make a custom lineage.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I made a custom race.
Good
One
for
of
you.
my cameras is
Guess what I called it?
You know, I made Jerry a human variant.
yeah.
That's the easiest thing.
no,
to do.
it's this one. It's on, but it's not showing up in my studio.
I made a race because there was just too much customization in her origin. I called it a dryad tree. And
I'm surprised you didn't already find one in there. I'm sure someone had already. built
that
it.
one
Yeah,
you won't
I just
allow
want to make a tiefling halfling with giant strength.
there was just
teeth.
so
with
much
halfling and giant strength.
customization for my origin that I had to do it. I knew there was no half-ass.
Half sleeve.
Yeah, I don't know what your problem is, but you're not a problem there. You're a fucking problem.
I'm just too tall.
No, you're that ultimate like uninsurable blockage. Yeah, doesn't pick up at all. You barely. Yeah, you don't see anything. That's funny. His fuzzy dome would always show up, but I swapped their seats thinking that he'd do better over there, and I was right. I was correct. I like
Look,
being correct.
He's like 3 feet shorter than he is. Of course, I'm not gonna show.
And amazingly enough, she's way hornier than I am.
Hey, settle down, you two. There's 2 bathrooms in there.
Yeah, there are. Oh, well, they're not for that. They're for going poop and pee.
Yeah, but knock a quick one out.
Poop or pee. Sorry. Poop or
Not at the
pee.
same
Poop
time?
and pee. Depends.
Heard that one?
Option 3, roll up.
No, option 4.
I would
where you
definitely.
pee, poop, and throw up between your legs. That's when
It's
you're
like
really
old school.
sick.
That's old school drinking.
Mhm.
You're on the
Can
toilet.
you check the Twitch channel, make sure our audio is coming through?
I've been there.
Because that's when it comes out.
Yeah.
That's,
I've been that sick as a kid before.
And
that's when you just get in the bathtub.
number 5 is Linda Blair style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My head didn't go around in circles, but I have projectile vomited before.
Oh, this is exciting.
Were you on target?
And it was-
Once.
And it looked great because it was oatmeal and red Gatorade.
Ooh.
I mean, that's like what they use in horror films.
I know. It's a perfect mixture.
Yeah.
Like to that wall. Pretty awesome.
The last time we played this was July 10th.
Sounds about right.
We played Kendall the whole summer.
Mhm.
And
A lot
took our
of
break.
people driving to Idaho and all over the place.
Like the first part of this. We all commit suicide. Oh, okay. Now let's play Candela Obscure.
TPK.
I do this for you.
I thought we were just flying to a black hole.
We kind
Cool.
of did, didn't we?
Well, we're gonna talk about that. But I want to double check everybody.
Are you checking on us? She's checking on us.
Yeah.
Notes.
Except it's like listening to the radio. because it's like there's a 5-second delay.
Yeah.
So if I flip you all off, it takes 5 seconds to
Thanks
get
for
to
you
you.
for you to be offended.
It takes 5 whole seconds in your time. So we're actually my
Oh,
bird's
look
time
at
traveling.
okay. There's Jade. There's Bella. Why do I have 2 Bella dogs?
That's what I'm trying to figure out
Speed
too.
of light
Whatever.
faster.
I'll remove it. It's easier if I remove it. You'll remove the wrong one, and then
It's a little. I put.
I think you already might have removed it because it's not letting me.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay, my page
They're
shows
both
up.
okay,
Okay, yeah,
you
there
both
it is.
moved.
Oh my God! Would you two look at how everyone else picked portraits? Could you just pick portraits?
I will. Chill.
What?
I'll pick it for you.
Worst.
I'm trying
I'll make
to
sure it's
add-
ugly.
I'm trying to add.
I'll upload an avatar's ass.
Well, let me. Oh no! How about those cheetah balls? Get that. Get the cheetah balls.
ball.
I mean, Jerry's is totally cool looking. Totally gray alien.
Let me see. I didn't see anybody. Oh my gosh, it's awesome! Love that.
I love it. God, everybody's
Did you
loving
read
that.
my background? My backstory.
I started to, then I got sidetracked. I'll have to work on that. For our
You
next
could
session.
totally.
I'm erasing it because you're not gonna look at
Oh
it.
my God, don't be such a baby.
I'm gonna look. I took a lot
You're
of
being a baby. Don't be a
And-
baby.
Scroll up
and
the art
delete.
and like take that picture that you drew of your character being completely horrified by us when you first met us. You make that as a temporary profile picture for your character.
I'm so compelled just to write Tim underneath. Scarlett's saying, Tim, the wizard, Tim. I'm the wizard,
Don't just pick
Tim.
one for D&D.
Yeah, I won't take it by me on the bridge. You must answer 3 questions. 3. What is your favorite color?
She's just gonna pick one of those pre-made D&D ones.
Because this is very slow. I do not want to search online on it. I have to go and do it on my computer.
Right, true.
Very
It's
slow.
probably the new Apple COO, like operating the crank.
He's on the
One
bike.
image at a time.
No, I turned it off.
She had a new tablet
I
then.
only got one bar on this. Whatever's up here.
Figure by now, like, what is that? AirPad -1? You figure they're all the way up to AirPad 12 now.
I'm surprised they just haven't shut it down. Going,
idea. I have
You're
no idea what
cheap.
the most current AirPad is.
all it says is you're cheap on it, and it just keeps flashing it. That's all you can
They
get.
they should totally do that. Like,
This
as
is
people,
10 years old.
as people start turning on their old
Right.
crappy tablets
Yeah,
to get a.
if you're 10 years old, get a life.
That's a possibility. That's within range.
Oh my God, that'd be funny, wouldn't it?
They might as well. Instead of just frustrating you until you get to where she's at right now, where it's like,
What are your,
Did you drop that?
I know. I was just figuring out.
Don't do this.
Grab what? What didn't get grabbed?
My sandwich.
You remember what your original
the
goals
one
were?
you pick all the time.
There's some in the kitchen.
Never mind then.
See if they have a snow leopard.
They don't have a snow leopard in there.
I don't know that.
I know that. They're cheap. Not D&D Beyond. All your character little pictures suck. So
I
take
try to find
put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Sucking's a good thing.
Okay, it blows.
Takes context.
Yeah, because it's great to suck a milkshake, but it sucks to blow milkshake.
No, because sucking's a good thing because
'Cause if you-
if it's
So
not, you
there's
better get
5.
your mouth
Don't
off
scroll
it.
through all of them.
Suck
There's
it
only 5
voluntary.
Tabaxi portraits.
No, there's one down.
Yeah, but who named it blowjob? Who's the first person that blew a spitball?
What?
Actually blew with the tube. Someone did it
What?
and said I'd give a whole job.
How exciting.
No.
What?
Who
There's-
named it?
Oh, you're thinking of that Tabaxi? That one? No.
Hey, Jerry,
They don't
do you
have one
remember
that
what
looks
your
like a
model
snow
number was?
Yes.
Yes, I wrote it down every single time so I wouldn't forget.
Okay, I'm picking a temporary one, and then I will pick a new
An
one.
uploaded one
Yeah,
from your.
I will
Okay.
find one.
Hey Jerry,
Let's
do you remember the
temporary.
name of your ice fox form?
Just for now.
Yeah, that's what you use all the
No,
time.
I
It is the one I
Because
Fine.
I gotta find.
I wrote it
Yeah.
down every single time in case you get my ice fox.
Jaguar will not.
I believe it.
Trying to
My note taking went to shit as soon as we started playing together. I was really good at home when we were
Yeah,
on,
online, on remote.
online because I
yeah.
could just do my notes.
And you
a
weren't
minute-
distracted.
Yeah, I wasn't distracted. Now I'm just distracted.
Well, now you also have Willa. She takes notes for everything.
On everything.
Yeah, she has
Things that-
she has Jerry's model number written down, so go figure.
It was important information.
Not anymore.
Brett closed the door and he walked towards the wrong part of the table.
Huh?
Did you instinctively cook with the chair?
No,
Oh.
I didn't shut the door. I said,
What is the big cat? Like your cat? Look out there. The east and I did find jaguar and I didn't find snow leopard or leopard in the east.
Use tiger. Yeah, just use tiger. Mostly the base stats.
If it
They
bothers
need
you,
one.
later you can create a custom pet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I passed, but
I mean, you've only had about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks,
I will tell you,
12 weeks to
I
do
spend
it.
every bit of my free time that I wasn't being obligated to be here or there for people working on that.
Oh, for that group?
that
Yeah,
I
that poster
finished.
looks awesome.
Yeah, that I
Did you get paid yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
they're signing off on making sure everybody signs off on it. They haven't.
Is that the final one that's in the Discord?
Yeah,
you
so that's
published?
the last one that somebody asked for. They wanted a bit more contrast between the two characters, the character and the villain. So I upped the saturation and made it more red. And I
Totally did like a Star Wars poster.
Oh, yeah.
So boss.
I literally had the New Hope as the base to kind of constantly reference it for positioning and stuff. Like I made the like as soon as they.
You really misspelled my name. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know how to spell your name. I couldn't.
Jason. You spelled it Jacen.
Jason.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was with an S.
Those with an O.
Everything.
J-S-E-N. Jason.
Okay.
That was JASI.
There's a lot of ways.
I thought it was J-A-C-K-O-F-F.
Jack off.
Every Jason that I knew how to spell their names was spelled like that. I apologize.
Really?
Yeah.
What a bunch of douchebags.
Send
That's not how you spell Jason. You spell
Well-
Jason Jason. Yeah, I've never. I mean, Jason the.
J-A-Y-S-Y-N.
I know there's Jason. I know there's Jason the Wheeled Warriors or whatever, the ones that drive around on the moon fighting off the evil doers. There's that one, but other than that, I don't know.
Do you mind sending?
And there's
the
14
actual
Jan Michael
spelling,
Vincent's.
To me on a PM so I can when I get home I can fix that.
That's funny.
Jason.
Yes, but I don't
And
trust
then
my memory.
bald. Great.
She's not using my last name.
Oh, because
Written and directed by Jason.
I just figured I didn't know if you had given them.
Then use the Panther.
I didn't know if you were anonymous to your groups or not.
No.
I didn't want to go with.
I hide in plain sight.
Well, there's an
I like
intentional
hiding in plain
misspelling
sight.
behind the thing in it.
Yeah, it's entirely.
I'm gonna have to make one because I have the stats.
Oh my god, that sounds like work.
All right.
Yes. Well, for today, I'm going to use the paper.
But for today, I'm going to use weird stuff. Oh, so glad I finally got my hair cut.
So I have access to more spells than I would normally have, but I have spells that I can't access. But I gave myself a feat that I couldn't access.
Yeah. Well, I keep in mind, I mean, and we could still discover spells in the world. We can still do that part. But we're going to be more of the 5e traditional spell methodology.
This just means I get to do more customization or have an excuse to do so.
I don't think you really need an excuse. By the way, my dragon is now officially the poster holder. Right,
Jeez. That's funny in my head.
I'm going to vote again. Go ahead and vote against the customization.
I didn't offer you a vote.
Oh.
This is an autocracy, motherfucker.
I shot a petrified Oracle shard.
But I gave you a
Shame
helmet
other
of
characters.
intellect,
It only
and
does damage
already
to the.
you're
my
not
fellow
being very
PC.
intellectual.
It only does damage to my fellow PC.
Oh yeah, it's a good
I'm a
purple
PC
weapon.
killer
Yeah.
and a murder hobo.
Yeah.
I don't have a real life.
But technically, if you murder a merchant, they have a job, so they're not a hobo. So you're a murder merchant.
No, I'm a hobo. I'm the one that wanders.
Oh, you're the one that
killing
wanders, but you have a job.
people. I'm killing people. I'm a wandering mass murderer. That's what I'm a murder
Look,
hobo.
she's drifted. What color's your sky right now?
She's titched. You're thrifty. It won't happen
You
again.
get that same look on your face that Stephanie gets when she steps out of her VR ocular. She'll step out of it, like she'll take it off, and she'll be like, "Oh, it hasn't burnt to a cinder."
But playing
Back
real
on.
life. Is she playing second life?
So, welcome to season 2, and welcome to the multiverse. The multiverse.
This is a
Episode
Thunderdome,
21,
bitches.
guys.
Jerry's like, only
Imitate any.
Oh,
ancient
yeah, be a
Star Wars
pog.
character you
Yeah,
want.
be a pog or
I
the
will
milk
sever your
producing
head from your
walrus.
shoulders. If you start the Misa stuff, I will freaking kill you. I wanted to.
Although she could play that voice as a Tabaxi. Misa's so furry.
Hey, Steven Spielberg, want to make one of your films better? Take that asshole out of it.
I didn't have a problem with
Don't put extra in. Take him out.
I used to be very toxic towards the creation of that character because it was a blatantly racist character. What
Honest-
made me feel bad about
Character was an
is
idiot.
how horrible the guy who played the suit and the object awareness suit was treated for doing it. Like he had any say so. The guy almost killed himself. He was trolled so heavily.
He should have killed himself for making that character.
Dude, don't be
That
crazy.
character.
But he didn't make it. He just wore the object suit.
Good for him, man. He must have put himself out there to be ridiculed.
I want to understand.
Nobody know what he looked like.
Why
Wow.
does that character
me try one of
specifically
those
get
things.
so much backlash?
Because it's blatantly racist.
Is it?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know what it's being a racist of.
Like every racism trope in the world, the kept down idiot background character who's got this weird inflection and has no purpose in life, and there's a lot of like persons of color tropes that they built into
It's
it.
like the best.
It's kind of like the fish people that were Jewish. They were obviously Jewish. Yeah. Oh yeah. They only cared about
Jason.
That's the
money.
same way with everything. Like it's like
Jason.
I don't see the.
Dude, she doesn't even know where she went to the pumpkin patch. Don't.
That's
she
true.
can't.
I'm pretty sure it was the Glen Oaks
Well,
one.
just because I don't know doesn't mean I'm not sure.
Oaks Glen.
I
Oak
like
Glen,
to
Oak
understand.
Cock,
Yeah.
whatever.
Could be in
So-
LA.
The team had begun back on Exandria and on the frontier, traversing back to the heart of Issylra. They came across an unfolding of an event. Not only was a strange creature coming into existence and attempting to infest the surface of Exandria, but the team came across an ancient creature that had been kept in an odd kind of containment. Freeing the creature from the containment and sending it on its way seemed to undo the nature of the insect creatures that were trying to overcome Exandria. In this process, they came across an obelisk, and within this obelisk, a stone was retrieved. Although a secondary stone was eventually recovered, as well as 2 primordial stones were suddenly back on the surface of Exandria again. Through the wanders and the travels, the team eventually met up with Morrow and Scarlet and began their adventures within Vasselheim, the capital city of this Issylra, and began to wonder and ponder at the strange politics and adventures they were having until they ended up on a shadow moon. And inside this shadow moon, a discovery a dissected dreadnought that was being researched by some pretty interesting personalities. But at the heart of all this was the notion that they had found a ship. And without truly understanding the nature and power of this ship, they began to use it. Their first indication of its possible power was that they traversed towards their first quest that they'd gotten from a halfling family to recover the inheritance of their family and to get back what was theirs. However, the travel from Vasselheim to the outskirts of Issylra, they found themselves traversing time by 2 years. What was once a vibrant residential community on the lakeshore had run down into abandoned houses. Here was their first notion that something wasn't quite right. It might be going on. Then they found the sanctuary, the strange dreadnought-like mining bore machines that were harvesting the very nature of the surrounding area. And they began to learn that Exandria was in the process of being abandoned. And a great mighty dictator, a great general, a great leader, a great person, a conqueror, had brought the Shadow Moon to the outskirts of Exandria and in their wild space. He went by the name Jerry. Missing for a very long time, unknowing as what had happened to him. Turns out that he spent quite a bit of time with the Gold Ravens.
Oh,
Inside the candy.
I thought somebody was stinging me. No, they don't eat mine.
Protein.
With that, the team rescuing Jerry, leaving. What was your other character's name? Sephora behind, imprisoned by the Golden Ravens.
Trying to go back for her.
The team fled the Shadow Moon, fleeing into wild space, but it was Jade that had decided to try to combine the stones while operating the ship at the same time. And that's where we last left off. As the stones come together in your hand, things around you begin to warp and dilate rather quickly. Within moments, there are 100 versions of you and the ship spreading out in like a radial pattern. Around this vision, you see hundreds of Exandrias. There's something not quite right about the different Exandrias that you see. Some Exandria is shattered into many pieces. Some Exandria looks primordial. The problem you're having, you don't seem to see the Exandria that you're familiar with.
It looks exactly the way we left it.
Which one do you guys pick?
Wait, there's more? One?
There's 100 Exandrias.
100 Exandrias. Can we all see it, or can I just see it?
You can all see it because
Can we roll
you're
100 dice?
experiencing the transition.
Okay.
You're
Roll 100 dice.
Not a bad
No,
idea.
because I don't want to go to one that's exploded.
But we don't know. What was like
You can look at it and say that's exploded. We don't want to go there.
Who gets to pick?
I'm the driver.
She's currently wearing the helmet. She's currently driving the
Okay.
Spelljammer chair.
Which one looks as close to our Exandria?
Give me perception or investigation. Your choice.
Is she able to see it though? Because
No,
she brings
You can all see it.
I'll see it.
we all do it kind of.
Yeah, if you want to. Everyone's free to make perception investigation if you want to try to figure out which is the right one to try to get to.
And we're not doing advantage.
Whatever's on your character sheet.
Not
I'm just sitting there.
Yeah. What's your passive perception here?
I got a dirty 20.
I got a 19 plus thing. Perception?
21.
What'd you roll?
18 plus 3.
No, what'd you
22.
roll?
Oh, 18.
It's 12.
Perception or investigation?
Oh, and sorry. Investigation.
Okay.
22. But I have insight. Can I insight the world?
16.
16. What'd you roll?
Uh,
Perception or investigation?
I rolled for perception.
Perception.
I didn't roll.
Okay.
Perception. 17.
For every minute that you take to examine, the end of that minute, they transform and change. Almost like it's in a cyclical event. They pattern out, and none look the same, but you're not entirely sure which one would look like your original world. And a minute later, they do it again.
Do they go back to what they were the first time, or
Hard
is
to
it
tell.
different?
Hard to tell. It's almost like you're watching a spectrum unfold around you.
Gee, I think I got an idea.
What's your passive
How about we
perception?
turn around and
12?
go backwards instead of forward?
Yeah, you wouldn't have picked up on this yet because it's not how
My
you're-
perception's changed.
Well, and you're
I didn't care anymore.
like and
My passive
the
is
mechanics
16.
of your ship don't work this way, so you're not entirely sure why you're seeing this.
My passive is 16.
No, it's more about where
It's
he's
small,
from,
yeah.
less about what you guys are all doing.
Right.
So your guys are all equally seeing that these available worlds are transitioning. And every minute they seem to change. Question is, which one do you pick?
Can I see the face options again? Basically, they're all kind of destroyed, though. Yeah.
Not all. There are variations. Some look like they're a primordial forest. There's a couple that look like they're all water.
What's number 77 look like?
I would like the answer to. I'd like to pick 42.
To go to a forest, please.
69! Pick the number 69!
Pick number 3, my lord.
Hey, number 3! Pick number 3!
Or I think you sold the.
Yeah, it's all
Oh, that's right, 2
Yeah,
big.
that's I was like this one. No, it was like this.
You start focusing and you focus on the helmet and you watch as this one particular Exandria comes into focus. And it just kind of sits there spinning. You can see Rudius and Kathia kind of like spinning around it as well. 2 moons. You see the
I'm
2
sorry,
moons.
not
You do not see a third moon on this one.
Okay.
The continents look familiar, but you're unable to get much closer other than the spectrum of the world itself. You don't see anything in the wild space to tell you that there are other people here, like visiting the world. It kind of feels like it could be close to the one you're looking for.
If she looked at 42, would it have Planet of Shillings?
It's 40. It's Planet 42 oscillates.
Planet of Whales.
Yeah, like as it oscillates in the
Planet
view,
Lots.
it's 3 planetary sections orbiting each other. Like almost like it had been a fractured world and is now. You also see streaks of light coming through it, like other visitors are probably going there in their Spelljammer ships.
Okay, I'm looking back at 77.
Just sitting there floating, Rudius and Kathia kind of floating with it.
Did the speeds of the moon fast or slow?
So, out of all of them, does it look like the best option?
It looks like there's at least 26 others that are potentials.
I would like to go to a forest, please.
What's number 69 look like?
You see 2 land masses doing this.
In balance, I see.
I like 77 because you get 8 more.
Make it so. Make it so, number 1.
I mean, you kind of oscillate between the ones that you can see. You're patterning them in and out. You narrow it down to about 5. 77, 84,
Which one has
65,
Not 84.
49,
We don't
and
want to be
32.
watched by somebody
Wait,
else.
33. Because tomorrow's my birthday, anyways. It's 33.
No, you don't want to go to that one.
Tomorrow's your birthday?
33 is like all full of shovel.
It's all tieflings. And only 1 gate. So it's 32, 77, 89, 49, 65.
Well, I like 77.
One more 7 minutes triple.
But 89 is. It was 84.
They all have 2 moons. These are the 5 that look most similar based on your rolls.
All right, guys. 77, 84, 65, 49, or 32. I like 77.
Because 7 is a lucky number.
Go for it.
Lucky Slevin.
Is there
It's
a 7?
also the one that I rolled.
What about 73 or 37?
As you stare at 73, it's mostly volcanic.
Oh, what about 37?
37 is a water world. It's mostly water.
Those aren't lucky numbers.
You see a tiny mouse on a boat.
You see Tobias with a paddle. He's like, another comet.
Well,
Very tiny boat.
77 is the one that I rolled. Shall we try
Let's go
77?
for it.
It's fine with me.
77?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So nice to have Jerry back.
Hi, Jerry.
Oh,
I don't even know what I am.
We're a giant.
All the worlds collide into the one that you're thinking of within your helm, and you feel the ship drop out of some kind of orientation. It just comes to a dead stop. And you're currently in a kind of stasis around the wild space of Exandria as you stare down at it. You get the feeling that you might be over the continent of Marquette.
Okay. I want to go to
As you begin to kind of use the ship and guide it in the direction that you believe Issylra to be.
without going through just time.
Well, currently the stones are inactive. Well, the stone, because you combine the two. And the primordial stone seems to have faded in power. It's got a very small pulse of power in it. But it doesn't seem to be active anymore. Whether or not they can be made active, you're not entirely sure. But you feel the ship begin to kind of like glide over in the general direction you're trying to get to. And sure enough, you're over a very verdant, lush jungle landscape of Issylra. No snow, no ice, no snow.
And it was always ice and snow.
90% of the time, their summers were very short.
But still had snow in places during the summers.
Yep.
Is there snow where there should be snow?
There's no snow on the continent. The only reason you recognized it was the sharp mountain landscape that kind of defines the way the kingdom would normally exist around Vasselheim.
Vasselheim.
There is a large city there, yeah.
Like our Vasselheim?
You're pretty far up. Do you want to get closer?
Camouflaged.
Can you?
Well, I thought we could go his.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would like to.
Jade,
Ship
I don't
goes
think
invisible.
We're going to get paid.
It's a good thing that we still have all the money.
As you guys descend lower and lower towards Vasselheim, you can see the White Heaven Cliffs. You can see the kind of...
Is the giant head there?
No, it's not there. No.
Does it look like what I imagined Vasselheim would have been and look like before a giant head fell on it?
Maybe. Maybe it hasn't happened yet.
And that was 200 years in the past? Guys, there's not a giant head in that city.
Maybe they finished harvesting it.
But
There'd
the
be a giant head.
skeleton would still be there.
maybe
Unless
it
they
never
used the
happened.
bump or something.
Maybe we changed the course of time and space itself.
I don't think we changed it. I think we went in that path.
Did we go back to
Did we go
the
back?
excellent?
Is
It
there like
doesn't matter. Let's land.
a way to tell
It's good to have you back
time,
here.
space?
It's good to be back.
There's no sense of presentation of time on any of the view screens that you have available. They're all opaque, glass-like structures that are thin stone glass. They're mostly used to present illusionary magic of what you would see outside the vessel. The only thing that you're kind of gradually becoming in tune with is the overall abilities of the Wasp. Other than that, it's the smallest of some of the ships you've seen, so it probably has limitations.
But there was a little display like that showed how far we time traveled previously,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not saying anything.
It's not saying anything about time.
This is anything but space.
We are occupying space.
You always occupy a space.
You just occupy more or less.
As you get closer to Vasselheim,
Hilarious.
you can see huge belching columns of black smoke coming out of vast, foundry-like areas. And you can see thousands of people spread out amongst Vasselheim, but Vasselheim looks very different. You're not seeing the temples, which is strange. You're not seeing.
It's not a what?
It's not a holy city.
Yeah, you're not seeing the temples or the chapel structures. It has a very, very as you could get closer, the verdant green of the lack of snowscape is now turning more into wasteland. And the only thing you see up on the stair cliffs that are still there, etched into the side, is the visage of a Goliath. Just this massive effigy of a Goliath's head. Almost like, the four presidents. What's it called? The Mount Rushmore. Yeah.
So there's.
Do we recognize it at all?
Be a history check.
It looks like
Can I
Jim.
do that?
I mean, it might not be who we think it is, but based on our own knowledge, just seem like somebody something we see. Not me. 10.
I know
Ben,
nothing.
doesn't look familiar to you.
I got 6.
It doesn't look-
17.
It looks like Grog Strongjaw.
Strong.
Yeah, that would be critical role.
It looks just like him.
I had a feeling personally.
The pattern, the way the facial features are, your own readings about Vox Machina, you know what he looks like, and it looks just like him. The
Beard and everything.
yeah, and that's what stands it out. As the ship gets closer, it's the beard that gives it away. It's poorly chiseled. It's not done well. But I mean, this
he did it
this
himself.
effigy is probably 200 feet tall, 50 to 100 feet wide. It's massive. Takes up a huge portion of the cliff.
I'll point that out. Be like, guys, that's Grub. Talk a little bit about it. Maybe no one knows. Yeah.
That was Pikes.
But no, if anyone doesn't know who Grub, but she's watched
Pikes.
Grub.
I don't know who it is, but I don't care.
No, I know you probably.
I only,
But
I
we know
only care
Pike.
about our game.
But we know Pike. That was one of Pike's group back in the day. Like
You know Pike.
200
You do too.
Yeah, that's right. Or do I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Two eyes.
you met.
You didn't go missing
What
until
lifetime?
Finger trails.
Post
finger
vivisection
trails.
or pre vivisection?
So, based on the conversation we had once upon a time, I'm starting to feel like we're not time traveling at all, and we're just skipping dimensions.
What's the dimension?
I'm not talking in
Oh.
character.
Okay.
There's an inflection that is Willa, and this isn't it.
This is just something.
Hey, Table of Horrors, thanks for rating.
Yay!
We're back to playing Pike's Promise. But thank you for rating. We appreciate you.
Aw.
Candela Obscura will probably do a special holiday 2 session with that when we get closer to the holidays.
Okay.
I mean, from your vantage point, now you're beginning to see that Vasselheim looks like a massive industrial complex. And everywhere you can see weapons of war, siege towers, catapults, ballistae, airships anchored at stations that look like they're fitted as war galleons. You could see a massive, prisoner lead of thousands of people chained by the neck being taken through the streets.
What do they look like?
They look like dwarves and humans and elves and tiefling and
Guys, I don't
gnomes.
think we want to stop. I don't think we do.
I don't see any tree people down there. I'm fine.
That's fucked up. That's so dark.
Can we point to the, wait, can we point to the burning fire that's over there? It's like, see the tree people?
So fucked up.
You're being thrown a
There's
lot.
like a huge, like a huge fire pyre where there's all these wiggling like
They're on a
wooden
conveyor
tree
belt.
people.
You're just throwing them on. They're going into a furnace. Yeah. And the March of the Machines is playing.
The only ones that are free are Goliaths. The other ones that are out.
For the most part, as you're looking down through the illusionary obsidian glass plate, that you can get a little bit closer of a focus because you're down in the city, invisible as far as you can tell. They can't. No one's looking up. No one's noticed
Up
you.
and pointing and going, ah,
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. And that's when you begin to see like how the old neighborhoods of Vasselheim used to be, in zones and like wards and like different neighborhoods. It's just this constant unfolding stone city where you're just watching thousands of Goliaths just wander the streets.
Not the planet we want to be on.
We could have been on a planet with shovels.
Okay, so
A little bit.
in our history with
You pick.
Grog.
Grog, was he ever the master of Vasselheim?
Strict check on him? But I don't believe so. No.
No, he can't even read and write.
Yeah, that's right, because you can't tell.
You don't need to read and write to conquer a system.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't
to
need. I don't need to read. I just need to lead.
I would say the one part of his history that would have come out of that role, when you think about it, there was that point where he had given up the blade.
Oh,
This is the history when he didn't, when he actually did kill the he didn't. It was her grandpa. But
You get the feeling that you might have found a world where Grog never gave up the blade.
I'll explain that then about like the history. Well, like maybe it could be this. It might be this. Is there like a blade by the giant head thing or something? Just a blade centered just for like a sword in the mountain.
I mean, you start having her guide the ship around, and sure enough, as you get to the other side of the profile, it's his hands up under his chin, and there you see the dark blade representation curved up past Grog's head. Like as you kind of like come around, you're basically having your Planet of the Apes moment right now.
Yeah. Thinking too much, no one believes.
Let's
We don't want to land here.
No.
No.
You picked it though.
But here's the question you have to
Yes.
ask yourself.
There
Must
are
be a
other
reason why you
continents.
picked it.
We should go back.
Can't go
Go
back.
back where?
Away from here. Away.
Where's here?
Stone's currently not
Stone's
showing
not-
any
Well, no,
power.
I meant just away from here in general.
Oh.
Like,
We're going to back and let's try and find a different city.
The final thing you notice coming out is you can see a flight of 5 red dragons kind of circling and oscillating the city.
Oh.
As you bring the ship up and out, that's when you begin to see the massive formations of Goliath armies marching in a southern direction. But wherever you kind of go and get further away from Vasselheim, there's no sense of the old, Othanzia kingdom. You don't see Othanzia kingdom anymore. You just see like unending wastelands that are being consumed by a very, very demanding armed force that must be expanded.
Does this place get the feeling of a place that was conquered
Oh,
rather
sweet
than a
home.
place that was built this way?
This feels conquered. It definitely feels conquered.
Yeah, Vasselheim was not a Goliath.
No, but I was like he described the city, but was it a city that was built by Goliaths or
No.
like one that was conquered?
Yeah, like you can see, like as you're coursing out the center of Vasselheim, you can see the collapsed ruins. You can see the Sarenrae Temple, has collapsed in on itself and it's been scavenged for stones to build other neighborhoods.
If I could brought it back,
Mm-hmm.
so that would need to happen.
Maybe.
At least one good thing, there's no kitchen.
Other than that,
It's already looking at. Looks like there'd be people to help them.
We could do a suicide mission and explode some.
Destroy one block.
Yeah.
That won't end your pain.
So how far do you want to drift?
Not south. Well, maybe south. It's we're going south, but it's north we've already conquered.
You want to see what hellscape the other continents are like?
Back to Marquette.
Have we ever been to Marquette?
I mean, you know of it, but you guys haven't been there.
No, haven't been.
Jerry has.
Jerry's been there, yeah. Jerry's been to Marquette.
What's Marquette?
He turns to you, and then he shimmers a little bit, and then he is dissected with all his liver and lungs and everything out, and all his skin splayed apart and pinned. And he's like, ah! And he goes back.
By the way, it wasn't Marquette, it was Amman.
Oh,
Tal'Dorei. It was
That place
Tal'Dorei.
isn't good either.
So, he thinks inspiration. Well, that was great.
Mandela is worn off on me. I make up my own shit now.
I'd like to know if those points that we had before are still active for future reference. Like
Yeah, I see why not.
Heroic actions.
We'll still keep heroic actions. I like that. That was fun. That was a fun mechanic. You guys heading towards Tal'Dorei at this point?
Tal'Dorei or Marquette?
It's up to you guys. Marquette would be further south, and Tal'Dorei would be due east of where you are.
How many continents are there?
There's Marquette, there's Tal'Dorei, there's Issylra, there's Wildmont, and then there's the Shattered Isles.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I know things, but since I don't know this, I'm going to ask somebody who does know. What continent did the frog come from?
Tal'Dorei, yeah. The Blue Hills of Tal'Dorei, where his Goliath clan raided all the local villages.
Maybe if we conquered this place, we should go there.
Probably still there. Wildmont? Or Marquette? Have we been to Shattered Isles?
no one ever asks him.
I'm just imagining Morrow like in the ship with his heavy Neanderthal brow.
I'm just not like no one
I just
ever
want
asks
to go
him.
somewhere where I get some fucking
I gotta
You know, there's not a toilet on this
He's
place.
pissing in his head.
Sounds
Sounds like a racehorse.
Jade, can I borrow your spell jammer helmet for a minute? I gotta go pay.
Put us on autopilot.
find a deserted island where there are no
Pulling out
people.
the bottle of fulfillment Craig's just in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Because this sucks.
Drinking while driving. Let's go.
Drinking while flying. That's very different.
Okay, I'm not drinking, of course.
Maybe we should have chosen Hellscape.
Oh.
Maybe it would have been
A tiny box appears out of nowhere, and it's just a pinhead shows up.
You guys are currently over the Lucidian Sea. Because of the way your ship can traverse, any continent can be gotten to relatively quickly. But the longer you linger,
Why don't you do a tour real quick? See everything, and then you'll know whether or not to be stuck.
All right, let's look at Marquette first.
Can we bring up screens that bring them up so we don't have to travel?
Not in the sense of
We
like
did
a
something
modern
like that
interpretation. Yeah, that's when you're in wild space. The ship behaves very differently in wild space versus when it behaves down here. It still allows you an optical illusion of seeing things better, but it's more like an enhancement on the illusionary spell. And
It's like
you can
Google
see
Maps
things.
versus an actual satellite or an actual
Right.
like,
Right.
drone picture, real time drone picture.
So coursing towards Marquette.
What's that?
The first thing you notice is you see the fleet for the first time. And you can see about 100 vessels in the sea. And they're all war galleons. They don't seem to be going anywhere currently. They seem to be like in a stationary position. And they're just off the coast of the southern portion of Issylra as you get out into the city and see it again, heading towards Marquette. You get the feeling that it's a war fleet that's probably in the midst of gathering. You can see the columns of soldiers kind of making their way into very well kind of created entrenchments and redments and just kind of building and like pacing themselves to get ready to march and to get on these ships. But as you course deeper out into the sea and start heading towards Marquette, within an hour or so, you make it over the edges of the Oderlands. And here, it looks very different. What was once kind of always reserved as a kind of vast desert wasteland, it's very verdant, not too unlike Issylra was. A lot of tropics, jungles, landscape. From what you can remember, the city of Ankar was in the middle of a massive desert that's not there. It's beginning to feel more and more like this was a world that maybe didn't even experience the calamity. Because Marquette suffered greatly during the calamity and was nearly devastated completely. It's kind of a very kind of wild frontier place. But as you get closer, you begin to see what can only be described as massive elven structures. And they're actually floating up in the atmospherics above Marquette. As you can see, about a dozen elven citadels, each one its own city, rotating, hovering over the Marquette landmass below, which just looks to be solid, verdant, wild land. Like no sign of coastal towns, no sign of cities on the landmass. It looks undisturbed and undeveloped. And just imagine a continent of a jungle that just never got touched.
So it looks like there's like a lot of cities and stuff that look like they could be holders of large amounts of magic.
Floating cities.
They're basically floating citadels. They're maybe roughly 2-3 miles up above the landmass. So as you guys kind of course around and kind of keeping away, because you do recognize the elven structures. And you can see the huge pulsing blue brimstone kind of underneath the citadels. History check. And history check. From you too. Okay.
So while what she believes in is kind of this way, she did spend a lot of time with a priest of Melora, and she understood prayer. So she's going to look at all this stuff, and she's going to be like, Melora, what's going on? And see if she gets an answer.
Okay. 12.
21.
You recognize the elven structures for what they are. Your mind immediately gravitates towards the fact that a couple of them look very similar to the city of Aor back in the Age of Arcanum. You're now beginning to feel as if Arcanum never ended. It would explain why the calamity never happened. And if the calamity never happened, as you start to reach out to Melora, nothing. A void, an emptiness.
There's no gods. They've succeeded in killing the gods.
It's just empty in your mind. And it's like,
Are you a cleric?
Someone just thought like they're but
who's your patron?
No,
not.
We played for a year. You never picked a
Come
patron.
on.
I'm not even
Man.
American.
Whichever
I'm not
one's in this world.
I thought it was locked. Yeah, stupid spider.
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
locked too because you went the spider route. You did pick lock. I think you did pick lock.
Yeah.
I was pretty
Your
sure.
version of lock.
And I'm fairly evil.
I don't know, 'cause I was like, I had to go with the
But the nose here.
And I thought I went with the god. I thought it was I was trying to find a goddess of magic and healing.
Well, again, no, you went with one that was creepy spider.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it might have been lock because you're 12th. Your sturdiness of the dwarf and your kind of like connection with elven deities of your elven side.
And you were able to speak the Kruger, weren't you?
Yeah, you knew the Underdark. You knew the language of the Underdark.
That is fascination. That thing's
Especially when you got to kill her.
Spiders.
Well, her fascination was creating dead gardens. Like,
Oh, I gotta say, just so you guys know, when I was picking, I had 5 levels in Spider, 5 levels in Druid, I chose Spore.
fun.
I've never played Spore Druid before. This should be interesting.
I've heard it's a fun class.
I think Ranger. I'm not quite
Ranger Gloomstalker.
Ranger Gloomstalker.
She's a fucking badass.
I picked Jerry.
Um, refresh my memory with the arcane list.
The Age of Arcanum, as you know the history to be, is a period of heightened arcane existence where particular wizards were attempting to make arcane magic the epitome, and they were trying to ascend via godhood using arcane magic. What they didn't realize that they had secretly made a deal with a particular fallen. Who was it? It was
I just had that card too.
It was one of the demons. I can't think of its name, but it was like one of the demons had corrupted the Arcanum wizards and were secretly plotting to destroy the world and remake it for themselves. But if Age of Arcanum never ended and they've reached their pinnacle of arcane existence, these floating cities were always that pinnacle. There were never more than 3 or 4 major citadels that floated throughout the landmass of Wild Pond. The fact that you're seeing a dozen over the entire continent of Marquette and a landmass that's never experienced calamity, it's almost as if Age of Arcanum never ended, or maybe
None of
you've
these
arrived in the
worlds
midst of it.
had rudeness. And anybody who's following the show knows what that means. Not that show.
Yeah, nobody follows that show, so let's.
I
our-
do. I do.
Yeah, we don't care. Let's do our own D&D show. That's what we're here for, folks.
World. It's
So
pertinent
cantankerous.
information.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jerry.
It's based in that world.
Where's
It's
he
very
working on?
good information to know.
Okay, let's just do this shit.
The demon Lavin.
Yes, the Demon Latin, yeah.
How do you spell Marquette? Yes, I-
Marquet. Marquette.
A-R-
or Marquet.
That's G. Okay. But I was like, Market? No, that's not how you spell Market.
You still have your probe, right?
No, they took the probe.
I don't have anything on.
Oh, that's right. They took all your shit away.
I have some emperor robes, an emperor hat,
Yeah.
You
And
didn't
I have-
steal stuff
You
on your
make
way
a
out.
scepter.
and I
out of
had a scepter.
You were grabbing
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
What was the
My +5
You
Vorpal,
scepter?
Vorpal
Vorpal scepter
of a containment.
of
Okay.
tree mothering.
Pretty funny.
Now you know pain. Okay,
See, that's the thing though. She can be injured, but she doesn't feel pain like normal. At least in her tree form. Like the dry form, she's gonna probably experience all sorts of
what if you?
Oh yeah.
When you feel
I would say actually you're experiencing some bodily functions you've never had to deal with before.
She feels herself.
What was that, Shadow?
Oh, that's when she never feels out the flames when she's burning.
Yeah.
Well, it like you realize you're taking damage, and you don't like it. But you don't feel pain like flesh.
All right. None of us are. Wait, anyone else? I'm a drow.
He's half drow, half human.
I speak Elfin.
Are
And
they
Sylvan.
drow in those floating cities?
Do you want to get closer? You give me investigation as you try to enhance the image. 12? Yeah, it feels like you gotta get closer.
I'm gonna go look at the rock.
Okay, give me investigation as you examine the
Do
rocks.
they also look like they're more mongers?
So far, you're not close enough to see if anyone's even there. Kind of out on the periphery,
22?
getting closer.
You know what's gonna happen when we get closer? They're gonna have all these detective visibility shit, and they're gonna like
What'd you
slow
get?
us down.
22.
22. It hasn't
21,
grown in
20.
power. Yeah, like the inner kind of like arcane energy of the stone is very subtle. It's like just this tiny little pulse of light.
Okay.
And with that same roll, you get the feeling that the stone itself, you have to reach in, pull out the small stone that's there, maybe have to recharge the small stone, and then combine them again. It almost feels like that's the effect that's triggering the ship to work. And it also, you begin to wonder, because when you were taken to the Void Moon and into the laboratories of the Void Moon, you get the feeling that somebody might have already been doing this. That structure of the Void Moon and the internal workings of it, there's a lot of advanced stuff about that place. And the way this stone is somehow connected to the ship feels very natural.
Well, I'll reach in and take the stone.
Give me intelligence save, please.
I'm going to say the mean things in your ear and distract you.
10. Take
So
18 points of psychic damage. You do manage to retrieve the stone out of the center of the larger primordial stone, and in your hand is now the smaller palm-sized stone, and it also has a very small power, kind of arcane power essence in it. It looks like not too dissimilar from some of those power stones that you can recharge with a spell effect, but you're not entirely sure.
You don't even believe in spells. Why would you do that?
Oh, because I found out what you call magic and how it works.
He was hoping they could sacrifice free to it to recharge it.
I slice your throat and let the stuff bleed into it. I'm kidding.
So, do we, I don't know. Okay. Cautiously.
Get closer. Okay. Everybody's free to give me perception checks because the opaque nature of the view screens and the way they redo the illusion, you can all see equally.
No.
23.
Okay.
No.
So with my vast knowledge of magic I have now, would I know with whether a cantrip would work to power it or it actually needs spell slots?
You definitely know they would need powerful spell slots too. So you're not sure if anyone has that
Well,
level
that's
of power.
distracted by this weird stuff that's coming
Even
out
me?
of her. She's not really sure what's going
Potentially even you.
on with her body.
Powerful stones.
She's completely distracted.
Get the feeling that there may be a way to consume powerful magic somehow to recharge it, but you're not sure if any of you contain the power to do it. What'd you get for your perception? 6.
I rolled it too. So.
Okay. Scarlet? Okay. Between the two of you, did you roll perception at all, Chair? Or are you too
Oh, I
busy with the
can.
stone? It's up to you. If you want to be busy with the stone,
I'll be busy.
okay. So you two notice parapets, towers,
My long lost mother, Martha.
yeah, right, like dozens of levels of walkways, very, very kind of like intact, large city castles that are, you can see the blue pulsing stones underneath. There's no one that you can see. No one on the parapets, no one on the walkways, no one in the vast empty courtyards that make up the center of these vast floating citadels. You see empty neighborhoods. You don't see a single
This is
living
just a
soul.
freaking bitch.
Does that mean we can
wanna go
moving
check
on
it
and
out?
look at other places?
It's floating city. Ain't no one there. Might be completely trapped. Yeah. And this is not a place I don't think we want to get off.
Remember that?
It definitely has that abandoned look.
Even though it's really powerful, it's an abandoned, really powerful place.
Remember from the
Is there
moon?
tumbleweed going by and saying,
And it says a lich lives here, and it's gonna.
No, it says.
I am actually interpreting that.
Yeah. Willie goes like tumbleweed. I'm a loser. I don't know.
Does someone have to purposely cast into the stone, or something cast at you would it would absorb it?
Give me an Arcana check. See if you can figure out how this works.
21.
21. It feels like you can, if you could find a powerful enough arcane item or effect, it may power the smaller stone. And therefore you could then take.
No,
You take-
Fall out of the
Yeah.
sky.
hey, this worked.
You watch this here and go, oh, look, my whole board.
We've got, Are we noticing?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a very big ship. I mean, you guys are all in the central area where she's in the chair with the helm and she's guiding the vessel. All of you are kind of around the periphery of the ship, kind of looking through all the opaque illusions that show you what's outside. He's one level down in the power station, and he's kind of down below where you can just see his shoulders and his creepy little gray head kind of examining the stone. You can see he's pulled them apart, and the main stone's too big for him to hold, so it's on the ground. But he's currently looking at the small stone and kind of examining it.
I also have in my heart the crystals that I got from the giant.
She got 3 crystals from the monster that was in space.
The mom was a crystal.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Those were power stones, right?
Mhm.
So you can give him one of those?
Yeah.
Sure. No.
Please don't kill your sister.
Yeah, it's like you're like it's a really bad throw. You're like,
Yeah.
It just slowly comes into your hand. As you stare at it, it's got some power in it, but this feels like it requires more. The stone that you're holding is the outcome of someone already giving a stone power, which is what you need to do with that other stone. Although holding that small power stone that she just shared with you, you're kind of looking at the larger stone and wondering just how much power it takes for that combination to work.
I have an idea. Is there a way for me to get on top of the ship?
Yeah, there's a small gantry that circles the ship, and you can walk the kind of rope ladder that'll take you, that's on the skin of the ship and take you on top of the wasp. Yeah.
With some safety harnesses so I don't fall. Oh, I have levitate. Doesn't matter.
I also have mine that I can wrap around you.
Fly us up underneath one of the citadels where that power is coming out.
Under one of the broomstone platforms that these citadels are sitting on.
You're sure we want to be underneath it? Whatever you're doing.
It's pretty intense. You feel the vessel go underneath. You can actually feel kind of like a surge of energy pulsing down on the vessel. It kind of wobbles a bit in the turbulence. And all of you are watching and underneath, and it's just this massive, 20-mile acre brimstone. Just perfectly preserved, embedded.
And it's magic.
It's some of the purest magic that you've ever experienced from their perspective on their previous roles of the history.
Mm-hmm.
These are much bigger cities than Aor ever was. These are probably what were citadels of power, eventually became cities as the power grew.
I want to touch the rock to it.
You're outside,
Yeah.
and you want to touch it
Yeah.
to it.
See if it powers it.
Give me a Constitution save as you do it.
Don't die, Jerry.
So you guys are all on the inside of the
Is
ship.
this a magical effect? Because no, it doesn't matter.
And here you were like berating me for talking
Oh,
about a plant that
And that one.
No. As you guys are all kind of like watching the broomstone, and you watch as Jerry had left, and you could hear him scamper up the skin of the wasp and up on top of the ship. And you can just hear him nattering. It'll be fine, guys.
It'll sound.
And you
like,
hear
it'll
hear
sound
like a
buzz zapper.
vibration, and then you hear a.
Bro.
You see an unconscious Jerry on the skin of the ship,
Somebody get him.
and he's like twitching. And you're watching the small stone begin to fall off, like it's sliding off the skin of the ship.
I'm gonna grab for the. He's upright.
Like knocked out, or my dad? What?
You're stunned.
Oh,
Can I try to see if I can like cut him but grab the stone because I saw it thunking, right?
Give me acrobatics check.
I would like to
I'm
support her with
rolling
my
the
body.
Advantage. You can have advantage because she's helping
I'm
you.
rolling the ship to try and keep it on.
Okay, I'll help with the DC.
Yeah.
And you're grabbing
Okay.
both. You're grabbing Jerry and the stone.
See, I'm using my bind.
30-20.
Are you doing the grabbing Jerry and the stone?
How much?
Okay, so as you watch her lean out the gantry skin, Jerry and the stone both fall right to your right and left. You reach out and you grab both of them. And Will is like vined onto your belt and holding you from, and you're like leaning out like Air Force One,
Okay.
holding onto Jerry and the stone as you kind of like get yanked back in. Take 24 points of lightning damage, please.
but
Can I?
did it do it?
As you look at the smaller stone,
I mean, the one that's currently in my hand.
yeah, the one that you're like, you start waking out of your stunned condition. You're looking up and everybody's staring at you, and you're looking at the stone. The stone looks exactly the same.
Yeah, it was a shot.
Buddy, what were you trying to do?
And as Jerry gets up, like all of his gray skin is doing like a mood ring color, fluctuating colors as he.
I hate that. But
Did,
I'm holding
did
the
it work?
stone up.
Yeah.
Is that doing the same thing he was just doing too? Because I didn't see it, so I'm just putting the stone
No,
up.
because he was outside the ship
Oh, okay.
trying to get it to touch the broomstone that was active up above.
It's not doing
You guys are
anything
back
my
in the
hands, is
ship.
it?
It doesn't seem to be doing anything. And the small bit of energy in it's still pulsing. But however this stone absorbs energy, it doesn't look like it. Give me either an insight check or an arcana check, your choice.
It's going insane.
Okay.
Ooh. That's so nice. It's 2 20s. Plus 4, so 24.
24. You get the feeling that was too much power at once. It has to be an augmented source of power that is predictable and containable and controllable to charge up the smaller primordial stone.
I use them one of the necklaces that maybe turn. Oh, it's like. Can I look around the room if there's like something? Well, no. Do I need a conductor of some sort?
Figure out some kind of pattern. Do we want to try someplace else? Because the ghost city freaks me out.
What if I sit on the big stone and then put my hand up?
So far, we've seen.
Sit on the big stone. Put your. You want to be. What are on the light on the electrical? Yeah. Not lightning rods. You want to be like one of those insulator glass things that power passes through. Supposed to be a what are they called? The things that blow up all the time. Transformer, yeah. She wants to be a transformer. You just watch as the charged skeleton just slides off the ship.
Just
But it looked like it had the power. Apparently.
remember the planet? Remember the planet that we saw when we were at the moon, and it was like the trading planet? Maybe that's the
Okay, crispy.
not crispy.
No, you're
Just rippling with color, and there's like little pucker points on his skin that where little parts of his skin kind of popped during when he got
Part of me
charred.
is imagining he's slurring this realizer.
yeah. He's got palsy on one side of his finger. I carry that way.
Give me a beer. Pour it in my non-stroking shot.
We'll set the culture for you.
Alright.
Healing touch.
Well,
I mean, there's 11 other citadels here as well.
okay, let's check it.
Move on to the next one. Same condition. If you want to keep going,
If they ascended to godhood, or whatever they
thought was godhood.
thought was godhood.
You can land on one and see what's there.
Next one.
Same condition.
We check all of them. Are they all the same?
They all,
There we
and then
go.
what's interesting is they almost look identical to each other.
So,
There's not one that's different than the other. They all look the same. Yeah,
so the only
strange.
people we've seen are
I'm wondering
slaves
if-
or
if
giants
they're all illusion.
on Issylra. In Wildmont.
No, I don't think they're an illusion.
This is Wildmount, right?
No, we're not Marquette.
You're over Marquette.
Okay, so in Marquette,
It's
you know,
all an
Bushville
illusion.
is the cities in a forest instead of a desert, but their older cities are abandoned.
And there's nothing in the forest below.
The only thing you see from time to time are like the wildlife kind of just existing. I'll say that it would be obvious to you that it feels like the landmass down below is dominated by dinosaurs. I mean, as you course through the different cities, the landmass rolls underneath you, and like there's this break in the jungle where you could see like a small lake, and there's like maybe a dozen sauropods kind of in the lake. You watch as like a blue dragon lifts up and out and courses away. You watch as a green dragon lifts up and out and kind of courses off in a different direction.
All right, guys, we gotta find dragon.
You're probably the only intelligent life on this
I wanna
part of the continent right now.
No.
But there's no sign of villages, cities, towns, settlements. There's no road network systems. There's no sign of any kind of settlements or any kind of explorations that have been done in this place.
Can we tell? I mean, in the citadel, is there any decay? Is it falling apart? Is there any
No, they
perfectly
just
preserved?
look abandoned.
But perfectly preserved.
Yeah, but very well preserved. Like, in fact, as you kind of like stare down into the open courtyards, there's trees. There's small little park spaces, and they all look fine. They all look manicured and like managed.
Maybe we should land for a little bit. Maybe find some supplies.
Maybe them being empty.
Or maybe they have non-organic maintaining it.
How close do you have to be here?
Shouldn't have to be too far away, right? They have a. I know.
That's good to be in contact
Hey!
with the soil.
What's your name? Tree. What's yours? Where the
How did that be that you two, all those,
Yeah.
those videos?
Fuck you! Jerry! Fuck you, Jerry! You know what I did last night? Don't you bring my mother in there! I lit this fire! Then I did your mother next to it!
I love those.
God,
So
that's
funny.
funny. We're doing nothing more.
That's right, you were.
Sure, because like we'll always be standing on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say you're normally at.
I'm normally on the ground, but so I've never really come across a
Yeah.
chance to see if I can talk to them outside of.
Now you're bereft of
I know my
soil.
sight is required
Oh, shit.
to touch, like to be connected to them.
On a sterilized ship with no soil in it.
They have parks. They must have soil if they have parks.
Yes.
But the ship you're on, yeah, I mean, you're got nothing.
Your
Guys, I don't know.
willow is
They're-
withering.
these
No
ships, they're freaking me out.
Yeah. I think he needs to recover. I think we need it away.
Who needs to recover?
You.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I have an existential crisis.
So, what was the forest that Villa originally?
I believe.
Stavalier Wood and Wildmont.
Yeah, but, like it was like first I thought I was from.
Now it's called Tyrannosaurus Rex Court.
the
Okay, let's go to Wildmont.
Go ahead all the way over to Wildmont.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, which continent is closer?
Tal'Dorei.
Let's
We
leave.
can fly over Tal'Dorei to get to Wildmont.
Actually, no. You'd fly over the heart of the Lucidian Sea, the main body of the ocean. It would take you along the island regions that would eventually run into the Wildmont coast.
So everything's changed. Wouldn't we be able to find more like her originally?
I thought that I was
it's
in front
not
of.
our original. Because
Hey,
This looks just like Caldori, but different.
It's not our original
So
dimension.
my original understanding for Willa was that she was a tree created by the energy is left over from the calamity, but
Right.
she learned that that was a lie. Maybe.
She learned that maybe she didn't get the whole truth.
Uh-huh.
She was being purposely guarded by other information that they felt was too dangerous.
So if any of that is true, there would be nobody like her here because the calamity didn't happen.
It's only
Now,
and
but if any of that was the,
There's a
Give that
possibility
fucking
that
poker.
we
The most,
oh yeah,
that we find something more like
The
her
most-
because she did
oh.
come from the calamity.
the most dangerous thing is to allow a god
Just
to
pick
know
your
that
nose.
it's something.
Yeah, right?
okay, so we're heading to Lila.
Are you?
we're scared of Caldori because there was already a bunch of barbarians and
Where
Issylra.
they came from, so they probably conquered there and then came to
Issylra.
It's a lot.
Oh. I did bring muffins to dinner, but I might use
Oh my gosh!
That
I
might
forgot
be
I
nice.
put this in the my thing.
Pardon?
It's from the cupcake.
garment.
Yay! Mine broke too.
That's not really a knife. That's a letter opener without a point. It's a knife.
If we've learned anything about my arms, really, I shouldn't hold any sharp weapons.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Let's see. Remember, I got this in the cupcake.
From his birthday.
Yeah, I had to do this.
Okay, I would like one of those buttered. Wild one.
Okay.
Hour and a half, 2 hours.
It's a much further landmass to get to, so we'll say it'll take you 3 hours to accomplish. Get there.
Probably going to stop on halfway.
Fair.
I've
I mean,
already peed on
I'm
the
assuming
not
that
knowing
you're
what's going on.
taking advantage of the flight in the Wasp to kind of like maybe take a quick break on a small uncharted island and do what you
Takes off
gotta
her
do.
collar and goes photosynthesis. Photosynthesis.
It's
You're so stingy on the butter there.
Just
It's gotta be like a cupcake of butter.
is that frosting? Yeah. Well, now she can just dip it. Now she can just dip it in butter, and I can roll and see if I can hear her arteries slow down.
Well, it is cranberry. It's orange cranberry.
It balances out, right?
The journey towards Wildmont is interesting. There's a notion that you guys want to do a quick pass over Dark Toe and take a look at the Pirate Island and see what's left of it. As you begin the journey and you get deeper and deeper into the Lucidian Sea, you get closer to Dark Toe. And that's when you see them. These fleets of pirate ships, massive fleets of pirate ships. As you begin to course nearer to Dark Toe, a huge lighthouse, just like 1,000 feet tall lighthouse. It's in the shape of a mouse folk.
We're landing. No, I'm kidding.
But what's interesting is Dark Toe is like a complex of an entire city. Like there's no natural landmass left of it, like no jungle, beach community. It is just shipyards, shipwrecks, and just this feeling that all this place does is churn out vessels. And you can just see these huge floating war galleons out everywhere.
All ran by
As you get closer, it's all mouse folk. All mouse folk.
Yes.
All mouse folk.
pirate mouse. Are there any tobacco?
You don't. I mean, if you want to get, it's all about how close you want to get.
See mouse
It's more about what you're seeing on the periphery of the landmass or the city is the obvious nature of the mouse folk that are running all the ships. But if you want to get into the interior of the city, you'd have to get closer towards the interior.
So off to the side, you see a huge cat box. Hundreds of tabaxis scraping. With the
See mouse folk riding the tabaxi like mouse.
and other ones are selling Rothschilds or what looks like Rothschilds to the common folk.
Unleash Ivory. It's like Ivory's got her face against the obsidian glass. Just licking it. Yeah. Oh, that was 100 universes ago. As you guys continue the journey, one thing that kind of getting closer towards Wildmont, you begin to experience the atoll islands, like all those little chains of dozens of islands, and you eventually cross over Bawali and like all the larger chains of islands. And
signs of life.
There appear to be indigenous life there. They're humans, but they're indigenous to the culture of the islands. They're islanders for the most part. They seem isolated. They don't seem to be under any kind of influence of exploration or pressure. They seem to have mostly developed into large fishing and like gathering communities, and they seem to. It kind of reminds you about the origin of the islands before Menagerie Coast was established and the Clovis Conclave was established.
Oh, I thought you said isolated for a second. I was like, isolated.
Isolated.
It's a massive armies of mouse folk marching.
Isolated. I'm stealing that word. I don't know what I'm going to use it for,
Isolated.
but I am going to use isolated somehow.
Isolated is when the pirates encircle an island. It's been isolated.
Because I thought I heard that you say isolated about like isolated. What's isolated?
Annihilated by mice. Isolated.
So as you get closer to Wildmont, the huge horizon spills open. It's getting closer to that late afternoon period. So as you're coming up over Lucidian Sea and looking at this massive horizon of the Wildmont coast, and as you get closer, you don't really notice many vessels like out in the waters like you would normally see. You begin to kind of force the vessel towards the largest of the cities that would be on the coast, which would be Nicodranas. No sign of it at all. As you get closer, you begin to notice that Wildmont, where you think Nicodranas is, there is a single 80 square mile crater.
And in the center of that crater, a statue of a mouse.
Not quite. And then you're looking right and left, and where you know that there used to be smaller communities and towns up and down the coast, wherever they used to be is variation size of craters. You get the feeling that Menagerie Coast has been wiped out. As you drift deeper into the Morrow and get closer into the Dundalian Empire, that's when you see it for the first time. The tallest stone edifice of a wall you've ever seen. It's maybe a mile high. As you stare at this huge mile-tall stone wall, there's a shimmer in front of it that shimmers along the edges to the right and to the left. The wall appears to be built into the landscape of what used to be the Morrow Valley and what normally you would be able to kind of like traverse down into the interior of the Morrow. There is a 30-mile long wall that's a mile high built into the landscape. Every 100 feet or so, these huge kind of like Lord of the Rings towers that are arced out and over to kind of keep a watch over their section of the wall.
Is it
Like
300
a
miles?
human with a hand.
No, just kind of like, just towers like over watching. And as you get closer, you can see very well armored figures. Some are carrying halberds, some are carrying strange looking rifles. You know of guns, but their rifles look strangely advanced, like very different. You can see there are garrisons of troops moving along the wall, and that's when you see the Griffin Riders circling the different towers, kind of keeping a lookout and kind of coursing over the ruins of the area where the Menagerie Coast used to be.
I want to look at the walls and
Too thick, can't see through it.
Did you say it was
But you're also
300
seeing
miles?
through hugs.
Did you
Can't tell what kind of figures. Kind of
They're
humans.
human.
They're all human.
They look
All human.
all human, yeah.
Did you say it
They're
was
gummies
300
in
miles long?
disguise.
None of us.
Huh?
Did you say it was 300 miles long?
30
30
miles long, a mile high.
Every 10 miles, there's a.
Every 100 feet, there's a tower. And there's garrisons of heavily armed individuals just coursing up and down the walkway of the wall. The wall itself looks to be maybe about 200 feet thick at its width. It's a massive structure.
the shimmer makes me worried to think that there's a force award.
What's a force?
It's a force. It's a farce field, not a force field.
Is our sightseeing tour over?
Where would we go?
There's no word. Is there any
We
place?
still haven't checked out Calvary.
There's all kinds of places to go.
I mean, there's still the kingdom of Zorhashia that's, out in the Zorhashian
We can check
wastelands.
the frozen
There's
waste.
the grain lands.
Frozen waste wouldn't be frozen anymore. Where they cold down.
Oh, where we were originally supposed to go look for ice worms?
No, that was on Issylra. No, the lands where that were
Well,
like
let's go check out that ice dragon.
That we were-
White ice
that was on
dragon.
Issylra.
Check that
I mean, that's probably
One's
those are
probably alive.
No, it was the
It was asleep. It was alive. It was asleep.
At this point, you guys are up high enough to see beyond the wall, and that's when you can see another one of those floating cities. But this one feels larger. Atop a pyramid-like structure of this floating city, as you're watching her kind of get the best optics of it that she can. This pyramid with a round cylindrical object on top of it. Your ship.
Oh.
It's a gray ship. You don't know if it's yours. You don't tell anyone this, but you stare at it and watch her focus in on it. You guys all just see this strange round object sitting on top of a pyramid. You can give me a history check because you have actually history or religion. Your choice. Did you spill all your dice?
No.
Because dice on the floor become
Just
mine. I rub my belly and I take them and I put them inside of a cup and I yell at them and I go, roll badly, and then I give it back to you. Ooh. That's what that is. It's tenderness. 22. You recognize the pyramid structure that round object is on. It looks like a ziggurat.
Yay. I guess I'll say that out loud. That's a ziggurat.
And then as you see the barrier shimmer along the wall, above the cylindrical object on top of the ziggurat, like right above it, you can see this 100-foot dimensional magic orb just spinning above it. And every now and then cascading out lightning.
Like a power source?
Very large power source.
Let's go over there.
No, I thought it was over. Isn't it?
Go over
Well, no,
the
you're
wall.
high enough that you can see,
Yeah.
but the shimmer still arcing up, and it begins to almost curve like dome-like.
let's see how much we can kill ourselves.
Right. Bug zapper today. Ziggurat
It's
is
a pyramid that goes like stepped instead of like
I
this.
think Aztec.
They tend to be focuses of great power from an Exandria perspective. It's believed that that was one of the main tools that Vecna was trying to use to cross over.
It's a temple of concentration.
Yep. Shame. It
Just-
will not help me at all.
In our time, it'd be more temple of sacrifice.
All the blood from
And can we?
Let's check for us more into. I don't think we can fly the ship through that shimmery bear. No, we don't.
I would even say you guys are picking up that orb that's shooting off those kind of like power arcs might be the source of the barrier's power.
Oh yeah, sure.
Is that
Okay.
is that technology or magic?
It's magic.
Okay.
In fact, you need to give me a charisma save.
All right.
I'm literally just gonna ask, is there a gate nearby? Like a front gate?
There is a massive gate house structure in the very middle section.
So 18.
It's basically a 500-foot tall double gate. They're currently open, and you can see people streaming in and people streaming out.
all human.
Yeah, all human.
All human.
18.
None of us are
18?
human. None of us.
There's a presence.
I don't even know what
That I haven't felt since.
There's a presence there. Like your own sense of the old Great One in your own mind. You know what that feels like, to feel an ancient presence.
Yeah.
There is an ancient presence emanating from that ziggurat. And it's touching like little, you know how when your arm feels like it falls asleep? Like your brain begins to feel that way, almost like you're being probed. Like your brain matter is being tickled a little bit.
I haven't taken these out in forever. I take out one of my tiny little potions, be like, what are the good polys? I could try to turn into a human.
Yes, but we don't. We're, all of us are not human.
If one of
None
us
of
can
us
get
are
in.
All of us are not human.
I can look
Double
human.
Hold
She
on.
tends to make herself look human. She looks worse than she did before.
He's been sleeping for like 45 minutes, and he's like, that's a double negative.
All of us.
My favorite is that session you fell asleep and we got raided. And all the players like, oh yeah, that guy's our jam. We know what he's doing.
So let's.
Yes, the two of us have disguised. Right.
And I can make myself look
I pull out my tail. There is no hiding.
I have more than one.
Less than an hour.
create the sword.
Can we take that one?
How do we know we don't go down?
You see the long line of people? Haven't moved far.
Willa grows a sword. I can help with his tail if you need to. Become a boss cat.
No.
Hard
Tail.
We'll become a bob cat.
Yeah, I'm a bobcat.
Let's do her ears funny too.
We'll just clip the one ear,
Clip
so
the one
she's
ear.
safe to wander off.
One up, one down.
So,
Shaver.
circle around. Go on. Across. And
That's
we're
your
looking
opinions,
for.
but you're controlling the
I'm
ship
having a
anyway.
brain.
Wait,
What's the
wait.
name of that the campaign?
We found a source of power for this.
Grain land.
Let's go use
Was
it.
it the green land? It's called
No, it's great land.
That power is going to electrocute you just as much as that brimstone did.
Oh no, we're gonna do it.
Are you thinking about when they traveled to Stilben,
I'm talking about
which
when,
was on Taldori?
I don't know. I'm talking about when they went to the crashed ancient city.
Yeah, Grain Lands. Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I thought it was the continent was called something else. Like what is it?
It's not a continent, it's an area of Wildmount.
Oh, okay.
It's like the equivalent of like Arctic and lava wastelands of that portion of Wildmont.
So when I was watching it, my brain just automatically assumed it was like Antarctica, and it was just north. It was a continent.
We always assume a lot of ice and snow means you just go north.
Yeah.
That's all good. Did you see that box? Isn't that
South
cool?
is frozen too. South is frozen too.
I know.
On occasion.
But like during that campaign specifically, it just felt like it was.
We're looking for a safe place to land. None of these places feel safe.
You want to head towards the Grain Lands and Zarhashi and Borglands and see what you see?
Sure.
Okay. Now you're beginning to lose the light. By the time you get there, you have about an hour left of light.
Can we chase the sun?
I know, right? Be the space station. Oddly enough, you get into the landmass, the Ashkeeper Peaks, and like that whole landmass that has always separated Zorhash from the Dwendalian Empire. And this is when you begin to see things that feel more familiar. Cities built into the side of cliffs, dwarven fortress structures built into the tall peaks. You could see beyond that landmass a very verdant and kind of vibrant mix of rolling green hills, vast forestland. Off in the distance, you can see the beginnings of like those glacial periods, where it's like come down into these rolling lands. And you can see the glaciers arcing up deep into the grain lands. And all below you are like farming communities, cattle communities, herder communities. You can see great caravans kind of like traversing these massively like intricate interwoven kind of like caravan routes.
Like, do they have minivans?
I don't know. You can get closer if they do.
I feel like or raptor like these.
But at the center of the Zorhashian Empire, what was once just this blasted wasteland, you're looking at this very verdant, vibrant, mixed landscape of just everything you would need to sustain an empire. And that's where you begin to see this growing, massive capital-like city, kind of like out in the midst of this rolling green prairie land. You see a bit of everything as you come through. Tabaxi, dwarves, elves, drow, bugbear, orcs, goblins, hobgoblins. You see creatures that you've never seen before. You see Luxodons and variations of Luxodons. You see people that look like giant rabbits that are able to walk. You're not even sure what they are.
We saw giant rabbits that tried to eat fruit.
Oh, the Harrogans. So yeah, you see the Harrogans traversing with their caravans, and you see halflings, and it is a very diverse landscape of people that you can see. And because it's beginning to get a little bit darker, you could see lanterns and torchlights coming on in all these kind of outskirts towns as well. These massive towns that exist further out, kind of like when you're driving to Vegas and you're going over the hills, and you see all these lit up communities during your journey over.
Okay, I'm looking for a place where we can hide the wasp close enough
For a settlement?
to a settlement.
Okay.
Maybe a town instead of a city first.
Clerkins Farm.
It might stick out farther.
Let's go to the city.
All right.
Get more information there. They have a lot of things, people to talk to,
What if we can actually understand the word
minds to warp and control. I mean,
a little bit of old Jerry kicking in.
Find somewhere in
We get out, we try to talk to somebody. None of our languages are the same. Like Elvish is not the Elvish that
We
they
speak
speak.
Sims. You knock on your knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get
you guys never learn.
They never do.
He's already evil enough.
Don't give him ideas. I'm gonna take my shoe off and beat you with it.
I just have to say, one of my biggest pet peeves in
I will say
shows
one
like
thing that
is
sticks out is that you notice one of the light points is moving. Almost like a town is moving on the horizon.
Like a giant dinosaur.
Dinosaur?
No.
Would you say like giant?
If you're in Zorhashia, you might be near the old plains near the Sorrow Seat. It could be one of the infamous landmass turtles.
That's what I was thinking.
Tortoise.
Like the turtle cities.
Yeah, could be one of those.
We might be able to land the last one. I don't see.
What if you wanted to work it?
No, we could be on it with the last one.
That's where we should land. On it.
Scarlett's like,
Okay.
well, there's a way.
I could try and talk to the local farm and see if it's a safe place to keep something.
I mean, there's no shortage of like small hamlets in all the different
It's
directions.
just land.
There's there's small farming communities that you can see. They seem very
I feel like I've
prosperous
been on a
here.
freaking bus tour. Fucking around.
I think that
Oh, this isn't Jerry. This is me.
We can tell.
We just had a
Fucking sightseeing tour of Jerusalem and
No.
shit.
But it's a floating turtle.
No, it's a landmass turtle, not a mess tortoise.
It's gargantuan.
Would it have a certain amount of magic that makes it move?
No, it's a living creature. Yeah, it's a living creature.
So do you remember in the second Aladdin, the tortoise, they had the whole city on it? Picture that, but on an actual tortoise in the desert.
not a desert.
It's not a
Or
desert.
desert
tortoise.
but
Yeah.
of course.
Think
Thinking
Think of Gamera. but with
Yeah,
legs.
yeah. But with legs instead of jet engines.
think of Ford,
That's always
like
so
one of those
weird.
Japanese
No, his legs would come in and then the jet engines would shoot out.
Right.
Like
That made more
It's
sense.
got two things that happen in that hole.
All right. Let's not land on the turtle.
That happened in that hole.
There's two things that come out of that hole.
Let's not land on the turtle. Let's find medium-sized town, city, light source. And go close to that.
Okay. Give me a survival check as you begin to try to look for something that.
Can I help her?
Yeah, you can have advantage on it.
I have proficiency in it.
I give everybody purple hats to wear so we don't get, our tour group doesn't get lost.
Can I look for a good place to land as well?
Yeah, if you want to, sure.
Oh yeah, 26.
Okay.
We're not doing. We're not doing it.
Oh, okay.
23.
I'll take the lower one.
Well, if you're proficient in it, it says advantage on your
Oh,
character
but
sheet.
it says
Yeah,
advantage, but only if it has advantage.
correct.
I am Jerry with Terrell Tours, and welcome. Welcome. I hope you've had a fun trip so far.
Terran tours.
Yeah, I know I have. Let's have a sing along.
Try the roast pog. I'll be here all day.
We'll have 45 minutes in town. Don't be late. Get back on the bus.
What'd you get?
26.
23. What'd you get?
26 on the high one, 23 on the low one.
Oh, either way, you're good. I'll say as the two of you kind of like help each other out by scanning, your old tribal nature kind of kicks in, and you see the beginning of a pretty sizable forest, and you can see a community that's kind of half built into it, and you can see all around them like they've built up farms and ranches, and they clearly look like they do logging there as well. But feels like a good spot to hide the ship in the edge of the forest. And it's a large enough town, you might be able to figure some things out there.
That sounds great. I think we should land there.
As you bring the ship over to the edge and you feel it kind of like hunker down into the overgrowth of the old forest, you guys are on the ground and night has just started.
We'll go talk to the trees.
Hello, brothers.
I'm sleeping.
So you heading out?
Mhm.
We go do it?
And maybe
The gantry,
Breathe the air.
the gantry lowers.
We all die.
I like it decompresses everything.
Oh, it's poisonous air to you all. Make your saves minus 20.
It is a very kind of like, it just smells like forest and grassland. It feels like fall too. It feels like fall. It's not warm, it's not cold, it's that kind of chill. You guys watch as the gantry lowers down, and you've got some pretty good cover. You've done this before. And you watch as Willa comes out and kind of stands there facing the forested area. And she kind of just goes into that meditative pose that she normally goes into.
Sister?
Yeah, what do you want? She's asking the trees, not Henry. What do you want?
Well, you'd say I've been on quite a journey. And,
We don't even know who you are, so why would we say that?
well, I'm just explaining my situation before I ask you anything.
That's okay. What do you want?
I'm wondering if this is a safe place for us to park ourselves. Is there any creatures or beasts that?
Oh, there's plenty of things in here that'll eat you. Just don't come in. Just stay out there. You'll be fine.
Can I discern what they mean by that? I mean, where?
I mean, you get the feeling they're talking about a massive forested area that has plenty of deadly things in it, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, there's things in here that'll eat you, but you know, if you stay out there, you'll be fine."
Nothing too large that will crush our supplies or.
I don't know what supplies are, but there's large things that can crush. Are you like one of those pink skins?
I'm not sure anymore.
Oh. Are you sure you should be talking to us? Because you sound really kind of slow.
Who lived for thousands of years?
Yeah.
Well, best way to gain knowledge is to ask people. Okay.
Yeah, we're not people though, but
You're my
no, you're a dryad.
people.
No. Start shaking a random tree.
Are you arguing with the tree?
We're talking
You
now.
just see a single snap. Oh.
I take the axe off the side of the
The fire, the
Fun
burn.
story. Plants actually do recognize when there is violent tendencies headed their way.
Yeah, I mean, you
still chop
feel
the tree
this kind of anxious energy in your mind, like they're trying to disconnect with you. Like they kind of, I'll give you a free insight. You get the feeling that they think they're talking to a crazy person, like a crazy wildling witch or a hag or something. It's kind of how the vibe they're giving you.
By the way, did you say leave me alone?
No, he said.
Yeah.
Leave me
Yeah.
alone.
Charlotte said that.
grassy ass.
Gracias.
So, did you get trees? What did you ask?
I was asking about whether or not there was large creatures that would just destroy our stuff at the park here.
Well, did they help you?
You guys don't try to imagine. First of all, she's talking to trees. She's
I'm just
using
gonna
words.
go find the
What Jerry
Um,
puts on a hand-me-down rucksack from inside the ship, jams some spares in there, and just kind of
grab some.
Willa
What's
tries
it on?
to send
Grab
pic-
some money from that pile behind us.
Willa attempts to send her intentions through the tree, like basically images of what's going on, and asking. Basically, it's like, is there
We
any
won't need
like?
any money.
And she
Don't
pictures
need
like
money.
those giant turtles or things like that.
That's if it's even good here.
If it comes through here.
Gold is good.
The trees share with you that there's this particular pathway that they follow, that they're allowed to follow, and they follow the routes of trade. So you don't feel like that's a particular threat. You feel like what they're referring to is just the wilds that exist in the forest.
Okay.
And then I will
Instead of
thank
gold,
them and I don't know.
Okay, maybe get some sleep, a little food in you. By the way, should we tell the others that we talked to you?
We don't hear.
You don't hear any of that.
Uh,
Like you're attempting to pull away from their presence, and all of a sudden they're like, others?
other what?
Dryads, of course. There's a whole community of them here in the forest. Why we're a little shocked to see you out there. They don't wander outside the forest. So we thought maybe you had been, exiled. Like sometimes they go crazy. They set up little covens and they eat people and get more powerful. But maybe that's not your.
You can let them know that
For the
our
drive
lost
that are on the
sister from a distant place is seeking asylum with her traveling companion.
Okay, we can do that. See, now it's amazing how that sounds much more like how the other dryads sound. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Thank you.
Always
You okay?
Trouble.
Are you doing fine now? You okay? Everyone okay?
You know,
You hear these other trees go, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, we're good.
There's
No,
one
it-
screaming in the background of a chicken nap or something.
oh no, they like it when you do that.
No, no, we don't. I don't know why the Dryads keep thinking that harvesting us is like somehow orgasmic. It really isn't. It hurts a lot. Yeah, watching the fruits of your labors being ripped out of your innards. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. No, your cat over there spreading seed. Not you, but that's fine. See, I've been taking a big shit by a tree.
And she looks nervously over her shoulder.
Like cats do when they're just
Yeah, she kicks her back legs to cover it, bounce back
Like
over
two little clumps of like,
yeah.
but it doesn't cover the massive pile of shit she just took. It just-
No, she missed the shit.
yeah. And then she sprays to mark her territory.
Girl.
Oh,
You see Jerry over there spraying.
I don't spray.
No, you're doing armpit spray because that's where your people do it. You start leaving your gray mark.
It's for Decimino.
and it melts the tree. Fuck. Now you know I'm here. Now I'm actually an alien. My blood is
No,
acid.
you can't do it. Yeah, I have to.
Of course she does. It's not a hero.
Give me a perception check from your vantage point.
Wow.
Don't
Really hard
worry,
to
guys.
guess.
I told the trees that they can tell local dryads that we're here.
19.
Great.
As you stand on a kind of like a low beginning of a hill area, you're looking into this town, and you can see there are 3 roads that look like lead up to the access point. It's not walled or protected. It's got a pretty much open outskirts, and you can see where a lot of the residential structures make up the boundary of the town, and the internals of the town. You can see a few taller structures. But you can see a sawmill set up deep on the edge of the forested area. You can see a forester's camp has been set up over there. They're clearly harvesting. And then the immediate area that you need to kind of traverse through are like all these like farmlands and peasant farm community that borders the exterior of this place. And you can pick up on it because their lanterns are coming on. You know, they're people home. From your guys' vantage point, you're maybe less than a mile or mile and a half from the town.
Okay.
Willa, can you cover the wasp with vines and stuff? I'm gonna grab.
Give me a deception check.
Deception.
With advantage, because say you'll have help.
32 pieces of jewelry. We got from the-
I mean, you guys have a shit ton of wealth.
I know, but he was saying that.
It's worthless in this planet. They deal in turds. Oh, darn.
See her face. That was a no shit really face.
If I'm currently wearing the collar, that means I would have like charisma, right?
Mhm.
So that would be 15.
Okay. Your reference to the jewelry?
We're gonna try taking money.
Okay.
The money is different gold school. Even if it's stamped different.
Just wear it down, or we can melt.
I wonder what that would do to the local economy. I mean, bringing in
I want to see if I
materials
can smell
that
if there's
don't
like
exist in the
a
currency.
tavern or a pub in that little town.
I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Perception with advantage. Smelling the air.
I'm packing my.
Says the
pocket
tree.
full.
Okay.
I'm
How much you want to
grabbing
take with you?
my-
2 15s. Double 12s.
Do you have any double 12s? On the
With it.
kind of like that kind of quiet sound of a busy town. It feels like it should be a big enough community. It probably has an inn, maybe a tavern, and some other local establishments.
My little bag of gold.
Okay. Okay. I mean that's a pretty random response. Are you taking 1,000, 500?
1,050 pounds weighs, or 50 gold weighs a pound.
Something like that. Yeah, about that.
You can always have bullet carriers.
No, you could eat it.
That is also possible.
If you eat some of the gold, can you spit it out too? There were markers.
Coils of wood poop with gold in it.
All peanuts. What
She becomes like one of those.
are you doing? Picking the peanuts out of your shit?
Picking the gold out of your shit.
You know those broken teacups where they like glue it back together?
Yeah.
That's where skin becomes.
Weren't you kidnapped regularly for your unique look?
Maybe it can happen again.
She looks like right now, she looks
Like a dryad.
Yeah, she looks like.
and we've put clothes on.
Okay.
She can grow her own clothes.
Yeah, she can.
She's
Put
just
clothes
It
on
might
her?
look weird.
she is weird. Where did you get the clothes to put on it?
You stole them.
Says the
Rabbit.
giant cat.
So she's wearing rabbit clothes.
That's weird, says the giant naked cat.
I don't make it.
Put on it, you know.
meanwhile, Jerry's saying it.
Yeah.
The naked alien.
You remember our names because they all
Wait.
Big heart-shaped head.
Yeah.
You said
Big
that,
eye. You guys are gonna look weird.
Yeah, you're still not even king now.
He's got the Emperor's garb.
Yeah,
That's what he's wearing. His Emperor's garb.
Hanging a hanging crown.
Yeah. No, Emperor's
under
clothes.
it.
This
It's
guy's
open,
Jerry's
he's
Emperor's
unnaked.
clothes. I mean, you guys found him in his throne room when you rescued him.
I don't have any other clothes on.
Yeah.
I'm like the dude walking around with an open like robe after a shower.
With one curly. It's the. I think it was glued on.
No, it just smooths down like a Ken doll.
That's so gross. I think it's gonna be smooth like a gun doll. Okay.
I'm gonna kind of go ahead so I can sneaky.
Give me a stealth check as you kind of go a good extra 20, 30 feet ahead to kind of keep an eye on the pathway that you're taking.
You want to go front or behind?
She can be stealthy.
Ooh, nat 20.
Nice. With your bonus?
So that's 20 plus.
Your bonus.
28.
28.
And the jewelry.
So I've got Scarlet out ahead of the group as you walk. I've got Jerry in the lead, Morrow in the middle. Everybody else just kind of dispersed.
I'll kind of take up the rear to guard the back.
Okay. It doesn't take you very long. You kind of guide them a few hundred feet away from the forested area when you finally find like a hunter's path, or maybe even a path that some of these other farmers are using. Then you begin to discover as the herds of sheep and cattle are kind of grazed out on these grasslands, you're finding just these kind of like footpaths that you kind of lead the team along.
He wasn't a backpack. Or she wasn't.
We're marking our path.
Okay.
somehow, so we can find our way back.
I'll say you're with your stealth check and with your survivor
Grows a
inclination.
path of flowers.
It's pretty easy to kind of figure out where you are. You kind of like look at the forested edge and mark it and get a good idea. I mean, it's dark out, but it's not pitch black. And you find yourself in the outskirts of some of the farmhouses and ranch houses.
Yeah.
And there are people lingering about.
No, I
You-
know.
You kind of watch as you bring them onto the main road, one of the main roads now that kind of goes through the different parts of the exterior of the community. And there are people out kind of doing their last minute night end chores, before they kind of disappear wherever they're going for the night. Big hulking kind of orc and hobgoblin taking care of some horses in front of a house. And You could see humans and goblins kind of working on their project off in like one of their little work shacks, and people seem congenial. I mean, they're at one point, you know it, kind of waving at you, no real kind of like concern. And that's when you begin to like reach the boundary of the town, right? Scarlet closes the distance with you guys, and you can hear just the sound of the people kind of moving about the streets, that early evening sound of people coming in from a long day's work and either looking for a place to have a meal.
We're having a brewski.
Yeah, and you come in, and the town's quite large. It's got neighborhoods, it's got sections, it's got areas. And before long, you're in the main heart of the town. You did remember passing a mile sign, outside the town as you were coming directly into it. It's called Odwin. And underneath the Odwin sign, there was a magistrate named Odwyn. There's a magistrate signature, like how like you're like, welcome to the town of Odwin, and it says your magistrate, and then underneath the magistrate it says Sturwood. Magistrate Sturwood seems to run this town.
It's at some point in our travel, I want to pickpocket somebody. Just enough to see what the coin is.
Okay, give you sleight of hand with advantage as you do it, because it's pretty high stealth.
How did you spell his name?
I did.
Magistrate Sturwood.
Already running into trouble.
Stirrwod. Sturwood.
We're kicking off the illegal activities.
We don't know what she's doing.
No, you have no idea what she's doing.
Haven't even been in the town.
Yeah,
We're gonna send us to the. They're gonna send us to make that. I told you not to steal anything. Ding, 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 ding. Making big rocks and little rocks.
What'd you get?
20.
Yeah.
28.
Well,
Yeah,
it
you
becomes a tree.
you kind of use the opportunity of where the crowd builds up a bit, and you kind of slide through some people, and you reach in and pluck a few coin out of a pocket. It's unfamiliar coin to you. It's one is a silver coin, the other one's a copper coin. They are minted coins, so they have value. You get the feeling that metallurgy has value here. But the stamp representation on it doesn't look familiar to you.
Can she take the quality of the coin?
And one silver equals 1,000 gold. That's the exchange rate.
There is an image of an elf on the coin, but it's not the bright queen.
So I showed you.
It's not Tobias.
Okay.
Can I run my finger over and test how much the percentage of
It's pure copper, pure silver.
He's a MILF, a mouse elf.
Mouse elf?
No.
A melf?
No, he's a
Melf magic mouse?
We left MILF
It's not
behind,
the
remember?
Bright Queen.
He was back
He's a
then.
MILF
Bright
king.
Queen, but it's half Bright Queen. I mean, half elf, half mouse.
Oh, Jesus. I haven't thought about that. I gotta write that down. That's awesome. Oh, I just thought of something fun with that.
You would have been good.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Half Tabaxi, half mouse folk, because
For anybody out there, they're talking about a game we ran, 4 or 5 years ago
Oh, it
now?
was a great
4 years ago?
2020.
No, when we started it.
We started it in 2020.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's almost 2024.
but you ended it last year. So it was
Yeah,
definitely-
yeah, I ended it last year.
Oh.
Yeah, it just feels like so much longer
Yeah,
ago.
we all started it in 2020. All right, so
That was a fun
continue
campaign.
along. We're looking for a tavern. With an inn. No, we're looking for an inn. We want someplace to sleep.
What's wrong with the side?
You can sleep
Should
outside.
I attempt to?
First, let's see how they react to our home. If they don't like it, then we'll leave and go to the tavern.
Okay. You guys traverse the center of the town for a while. You can see market stalls are set up for the evening. Outside, kind of like cafe areas. Eateries are kind of set up in random places. You can smell like all manner of foods being cooked out in the open. And you do eventually come across an inn that kind of takes up a large section of the internal part of the town. It's called Quigley's. And there is a picture of a human profile on the sign, and it's called Quigley's Underkeep.
Can we get a spelling for that?
Quigley's. Quigley's.
Quigley's.
Not what I said at all.
Why? Why? Quiglys.
Sure. I mean, phonetically, if that's going to help you, that's fine.
It's Quigley's down under. Are you kidding?
All right. We're gonna go.
I feel like
It's like I'm out of here.
Get around.
I feel like just went over my head.
It's Quigley's Underkeep.
Oh, okay, underkeep.
Yeah, it's Quigley's Underkeep.
Is there a sassy little lass there and a guy with a big mustache that runs it?
I mean, there's currently a crowd of people out in front of it.
Quigley and under.
It's pretty good. It just has that typical busy kind of montage of people out in front. A lot of travelers, merchants, caravan folk. You get the feeling that this might be like a crossroads community at this point that traverse out to the bigger cities and the other towns.
Can I kind of put my insights out and try and pick up what the local gossip might be centered around?
Currently, your sprites, your spriggans, are now fireflies. So you can send out your fireflies if you want
Okay.
to.
Write that down.
Okay. Like out of the bristle of her collar, you just watch as a couple dozen lightning bugs just flurry out and just kind of drift off on the wind and breeze and out into the vastness of the town itself.
I think I'm gonna slowly get into the shadows and hear what I can see what I can hear.
Outside or inside?
I'm gonna go inside.
Okay, so everyone's heading in?
Find the dirt.
Okay. The double doors open into kind of a very casual crowd of about 50 to 100 people spread out in a very large common space. There's a huge bar section. You can see people are eating, kitchen doors opening and trays of food coming out. The variety of people here is numerous. It's an inclusive environment. Most of the folk running Quigley's appear to be dwarves for the most part. There are some female gnomes that are kind of catering. No band is currently set up, no kind of like bardic representation. You can hear people kind of just that steady sound of conversation, eating, drinking. There's not really a dark corner here. It's a very well lit and established kind of
I become a tree
Place.
and become the dark corner.
Table big enough for
your pass is good enough. You can see a couple tables near the edge of the structure itself. You guys make your way over there. You pull out chairs, sit down. Before long, a female dwarf saddles up to the table. What can I be doing for you? What can I get you?
Could we understand?
She's speaking common.
Yeah, but like,
You don't recognize the dialect.
What accent?
No, the dialect. It's not Zarhashian.
What's your special in the day?
Oh, buddy. We got turkey, geese. We got a good barley soup that's on. That just kind of depends on what you're looking for.
Anyone?
turkey's nothing.
Anyone looking at ivory?
No, I mean you can even see like this huge hulking like half ogre guy kind of sitting at a table, and he's petting like his massive bullfrog and kind of talking to a bugbear across the table. So you get the feeling that it doesn't feel strange to you.
Okay.
Have this little thing on that says it's a
It's a service animal. This is my emotional bullfrog. Yeah, when the gobos piss me off, I open his mouth, jam them in there.
We've been traveling for some
Oh.
days.
Are you here for the Crossroads Fair then?
Indeed.
Oh, good. Perhaps you'd like to try some of our pastries and our pies as well.
Excuse me.
Whatever you recommend
Yes.
you do.
What year is it?
What do you mean? What year?
Oh, what year is it?
We have been traveling for some time, but we've
Oh, unfortunate. Well, it's the 12th festival of the Harvest Moon. I believe if you follow the calendar, strange question to ask. It is 48256, Arcanum, of course.
We travel a lot. We don't really see much of the calendar or notice the moon going up and down.
Well,
make sure.
the human settlement with the wall. What?
Aye, those dastardly dwindles.
Ah.
Yeah, they, we don't go there. We don't really treat with them. They're a bit of a, how shall I say, they like their own kind more than others. We prefer not to work with them.
Could we visit the city, or do you have to? We saw mostly humans.
I wouldn't recommend you go there. Not good people. Not kindly.
But if you had to, you could.
You could visit the embassy in capital city. If you go and head on over to Essilis, maybe a good 5-6 miles from here, you could treat with the Dwendal emissary and embassy that's there. Perhaps they might let you in. I don't know.
Who runs that place?
Oh, the King Lord Dwendal himself, the Great Lich Lord, of course. These are strange questions. Do you hail from?
Far, far away.
Oh, okay. I hope you brought the coin with you.
We have some. Do you take any type?
Gold is gold, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So how from the time we're at on Tal'Dorei, when is it? In the past, or is it the future?
They're using a different calendar entirely.
Or are they
No.
using a different calendar entirely?
I mean, it feels like an entire event never happened.
Right.
Because they're counting higher numbers.
8, 2, 5, 6 Arcanum.
I say
We
Not
were on
post calamity.
Can I say
we were on post calamity.
most recommended ale for all.
We just add up the pre-calamity and the post-calamity.
I'm sorry, dear. What? I don't understand your language. What was that?
Oh, I said Dwarvish.
What?
He didn't understand her.
I'm sorry. I don't know that language.
We get round of really strong ale.
Of course. I can bring you some of the Great Queen's Ale, of course.
Did she say
I'll get it.
physical?
It was the
12th
12th Festival of the Harvest Moon.
Make mine a double.
Of course, dear. Of course. I'll just have some trays of food and drink brought out to you. I know you look like a weary caravan group, and you'd probably benefit from it.
Who do you speak to about acquiring
All right, I can certainly get you accommodations if you need them. All 6 of you then. Do you want to share a room or your own? Very well. 3 rooms then? 3 rooms? How long are you staying? Well, tell you what I'll do. If you're here for at least 3 days, the festival is in 2 days. Well, that being the case, I can sell you a package. Your food and drink are all inclusive. Charge you each 10 gold apiece for 3 days, so 30 gold apiece. That covers your meals, covers your drink, and covers your stay in your room.
None of which technically means like, he's not going to say anything.
I just start levitating.
I'm sorry.
Just a little bit.
Sorry, sir. No magics, please. You should know that.
It's not magic.
Well, you certainly use magic to levitate. You just can't levitate by sheer will. I'd appreciate you not practicing your magic yet.
I'm not practicing magic.
Don't
Just push
use
it
your
your
abilities. Don't use your abilities.
That just happens sometimes.
Well, just be mindful where you are. Don't be doing that.
Put my hand on his head.
It's for the first time you notice people are like, kind of
Right,
eyeing.
magic is scarce.
like kind of like
Man, that is distracted. Awesome.
Well, if our kingdom happened and they all
Died or got sent
bought the rapture,
I love that.
I'll
D6
take it.
inspiration for that one. I like that. Suddenly 1,000
So
wizards.
there's only 4 magic club max users in the world, and they're all in the castles. That's right.
I wonder how they feel about nature.
About 10 minutes goes by. 4 great trays of all sorts of food varietals, and ale is put on the table in great pitchers, and bottles of wine, and a couple of bottles of the harder stuff kind of placed on the table as well. She hands you a key, and you a key. So there's 3 rooms. That's
I know you don't need
room
but
32, 33, and 34 on the 3rd floor.
Willa actually is like looking at the food, and she gets a curiosity. She doesn't have much, and she goes,
it was 30, 33.
You're eating food for the first time. It tastes pretty good.
You said room
"Well, she's
33.
eating."
32, 33, and 34.
absorbed. There's just
I assumed you want to be near each other. They don't have pass-through doors. We never put those in, but if you're traveling as a group, I figured you know. would prefer it.
It's like a tiny tree.
130 times 6 is 180.
Just don't hurry through it.
Take your ass. Puts it in ties it off into a small bag and puts it on her belt. Is there anything else I could do for you? Oh, well, there's a lot of shopping. We are the crossroads of the caravans before they make their way to Asarius. They all gather both here and some of the other border towns. They do some trades with the wilds when they arrive. And then usually the day before or the day during the festival, there's games and celebrations and great festivities about the harvest moon beginning. Then there's the typical sacrifice. And then after the sacrifice, all the different caravans go out and make their journey to Asarius, and the great market is open for the season yet again. We have many shops, mostly local artisan shops, food shops, and other things here as well. That depends on what you're looking for. Is there a particular...
Potions.
Shinies.
I don't... She just kind of gets this weird look on her face. You know, perhaps I'll get someone else to attend to you. As she walks away from the table.
What?
Stop freaking the locals out.
I'm freaking him out.
He watches his heart shape and turns. What do you mean?
I'm just simply trying
Body
to
explodes
ascertain
again.
whether or not.
So my
magic is-
understanding is Darwin was curious that you are looking for a specific shop. Shop would you be?
He was looking for something that was
Oh,
right
it's
here
the-
on the table the whole time, and I hand him the bottle of the strongest.
He leans, this
alcohol.
big burly dwarf leans in and goes, "What have you mentioned? Potions.
It's black market. Black
I
market.
know a place. That's what you be looking for.
Oh, that's perfect.
But you didn't hear it from old Grindtooth.
Who's that?
Exactly. You got gold.
Yes,
You want to know a spot that you can go looking for it.
that would be great.
Well, how much gold you got?
A lot.
But
But I'd not be just giving you away secrets for free. So
I
I
know.
guess you're not that interested. And he like does this more than obvious bribe face.
Give me 10.
I put 10 gold.
Oh yeah, no, just the other day I was walking the alleyways there. There's a door about 4 or 5 blocks from here. Great yellow door behind an old abandoned warehouse. Rap on that door 2 times. All you have to do is say the word Equinox. There'll be a gentleman there, of blue skin, that will answer the door and allow you in. That's
long as you know that word. Unfortunately, it doesn't stay long. Sometimes the door moves about.
We're new to the area.
No.
What's the laws here on magic?
Oh, don't be practicing no magic, boyo. Keep it under your skin. I like to make a good side hustle and some coin from time to time, but unless you want to end up in the pits, don't be practicing your magic. Wait till you're
So
in
it's
the outer
illegal?
regions. Oh, well, it's more than illegal, lad. It's sacrilege to do it, of course.
You'd be the sacrifice. What are these?
What do they say? Oh, for the beginning of the harvest moon. But no. Could be an Azimir this time. They're not very well liked anyways. There's a belief every time I'm not sure where you're from, but there's a bit of a belief that if you want to keep the Lich King happy, send him a soul. Leave you be. Yeah, the great Wendell Lich King, if you believe it. Right. I don't.
So is the Lich thing, is that what, he's the only one that can do magic?
Well, there's people that believe that if you conduct magic, then you're in cahoots with the Lich King. But unless you're pure Dwendal blood, people don't tolerate magic much. Look, in the outskirts of the wilds, you can do what you will. Hell, even the cities that wander the Great Plains, they don't. Halflings are peculiar. They don't really give a shit. Goblins, too. They'll do magic just as soon as far to drink a beer. But when you're in a big town like this, as good as Stoward is as a magistrate, he always feels compelled to follow the law. And, well, Her Majesty in Esseris doesn't really like to disturb the Dwendal King.
Mm-hmm. So is it punishable by death? Or?
I know what, you just get transferred to the dungeon up in Esseris, and they take care of you up there. Magistrates hold a small bit of power here, but mostly it's the guilds and merchants that make up the council and make up most of the decisions of the community. The magistrates simply make sure that we're towing the line.
Oh.
Okay. Back to the yellow door, 4 to 5 doors down behind.
Behind an old abandoned warehouse. Can't miss it. That's why I believe it's supposed to arrive this time. Let's make sure you got plenty of coin. And be prepared for... He's a strange man, but he's fair.
Anthony sweats a lot. No, it's not on character.
Why would he sweat? I'm confused by that.
Is he just more?
You're
Not in
strange
character.
people.
Not in character.
Not in character.
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
You said the door was answered by a blue man, and it's the coastal cities
about
are
that.
gone.
Well, is there anything I can get you?
No way.
That was your fault.
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the finder's fee.
Wonderful about yourself.
And you watch as the female dwarf comes back. I hope that was helpful for you. It's not that I'm averse to kinds of people with different needs, but keep the M-word talk on the down low. You never know when Her Royal Highnesses might have ears about to deal with.
Should we say her name?
Harmony?
Yeah, like you know how like I'm so and so, I'm helping you
No,
today.
she never said her name.
What is this? Applebee's? Fucking tavern.
Tavern run by assholes.
How much flair does he have on?
Oh, I got quite a bit of flair.
Oh,
Yes,
did you?
all up and down my rainbow suspenders. You're watching the Hobgoblin wanders by. I'm going to need those T80 reports first
That's
thing
right,
in the morning.
TPS. You need them TPS reports.
Get those TPS reports first thing in the
I
morning.
wouldn't call it drinking.
He's like wearing a too small suit, this big, like, blubbery hobgoblin skin and a little tiny tie. She has no idea what we're talking about.
I don't. So
Office
I'm gonna
space.
feed Yeah, I never watched it.
How dare
But
you?
Nita, I
I'm gonna make.
You
my
put a
way
bowl of, like,
to my room.
snacks down. She's eating at the table.
Too busy watching
Yeah.
your show, like,
or
snack.
orange.
So
How we break in the room?
Willa with me.
Willa?
Willa could be.
Willa's not even-
I know, but I wish you could put her fireflies in there or something.
you guys watch Willa do something you've never seen her do before.
She
Not only that, she yawns.
She's gonna sleep.
Well, she always sleeps. She just sleeps as a tree.
Don't
Sleep in this one.
feel that at all.
Willa, we probably don't want to have you sleep in the tree right now because there's magic is in the trees and
You get to sleep in that farm
turning
in a
into
bed.
tree. Might
Please don't turn it.
Give me a charisma save, please, Willa.
If she has to take a shit. Really? First
That's
ones
not
are
great.
always
Well,
big.
Well, you get really upset and you immediately start to transform into your tree form, but nothing happens.
so you have to take out the color to do it.
You take off the collar, nothing happens.
Do I have to rewrite my character sheet again?
Nope.
Do I still do all my abilities?
Mm-hmm.
So
You
what,
can't turn in tree form.
so what about my strength and charisma?
It's all fine.
But, well, okay, so the way it was before is like I was.
If you turn into a tree. Right now, for some reason, you're unable to turn into a tree.
But see, it swapped my charisma and strength.
That's fine.
abilities.
When you turn into a tree,
Okay, so
right now you are your dryad form. You're just unable to turn into your tree.
I won't be able to combat.
Right now, you're making right now sound like forever, and I'm not sure why you feel that way. I've made no indication that that's the
That's
case.
what I feel like. That's how Willa feels right now. Like she can't turn into.
That's
herself.
fine. Yeah, that's how Willa feels. Yeah, I just want to make sure.
calm down, Willa. We'll figure it out. Take a breath. You have to breathe in this one.
We need to go.
Sleep in a bed.
Let's take her to the room.
And you feel lungs fill with air.
Mist starts to come out of her.
And you're like, she's this close to freaking out.
Okay, let's go up to the room.
go up to the room.
Come on, grabbing extra food. And
Pretty much all the scraps in the bag.
Yeah.
push
So who's all heading up to the room?
Jerry, come on. Don't do something stupid.
You guys all look over to like you're
We just
starting to like
grab-
train up towards the stairs.
I'll just grab Cherry by the collar.
So you watch this fella reaches and puts her hand through an illusion, and Jerry's not there.
In the pits. All right, let's go.
Just got him.
You check for the helmet. It's gone. Stranded.
Your phaser. Doo, 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 doo.
Ivar makes his third character.
It's another farm.
All right.
No.
So as you guys head up to your rooms, you make it out front of the tavern. You're standing there in your invisible form, and you're looking up and down the streets. There are guards that wander about, but they don't seem to really take their job all that seriously. There's a sense of kind of casual calm and malaise about the community. Just that, that kind of apathy, like they haven't seen war for like forever, and they feel just 100% secure in their existence.
Like the Lich King's got this down. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, like, and after listening to that conversation, give me an insight check. Excuse me.
6.
This place feels like appeasement. You're not sure how they're doing it. You're not sure if there's a relationship. It feels like they exist, and whatever is going on out there, they're being protected from it somehow. But you just don't understand. You just don't get the vibe as to what the arrangement is. They keep mentioning a queen in the capital city of Issylra, but you also remember Scarlet not noticing, like, there's a female elven figure on the coin that she collected,
Right.
but it's not the Bright Queen. You guys know enough about the Bright Queen from your own origin, from where you came from. It was an elven person of female origin, but it definitely didn't look like a kind of monarchical stamp of the Bright Queen. She had a very drow, imposing figure that was very recognizable. This one, not recognizable at all. Do you want to explore the town? Give me investigation as you begin to explore the town.
Come on, investigation.
I'm really good.
Daddy needs a good roll.
Going to be like trying to grow as much things as possible.
13.
13? The one thing that you come across that kind of sends a slight chill up your spine because you've been in this situation before, there is a strange kind of like ceremonial platform in the middle of a very well decorated festive like area, kind of like, you know, like the really nice part of a Ren fair where it's all decorated and really cool.
Why do I get like a hint of Wicker Man going on?
Right? And you're just wandering about in your invisible form, and you take this opportunity just to, and there it is, this iron cage up on like a wooden platform, and you could see like an altar, and that's when you see the image of King Gwendol is like baked into the altar, and their interpretation of a lich you feel is cultural. Maybe it's more about lich-like powers, because his visage is kind of very human, stoic, older, you know, and the altar, it's almost like this stone, and he's like holding it in his arms, you know, and you see the great fingers holding the stone altar, and then the visage of the Gwendol visage looking down on the altar, and you get the feeling that's the sacrificial spot. And you could see clearly in the cage.
Humanoid.
Yeah. And like
coffin shaped or whatever.
Well, not coffin
bundle
shaped, but it, you know, it's a stone.
It's stained.
Yeah, it's got that Ekin and Mayan kind of sacrificial stain residue to it, you know, and you could see there's preparation being
Smells
made.
coppery.
And it has that silver, that copper penny smell. And you can see a cage alongside of it with about 6 guards around it, kind of just being kind of like relaxed and kind of talking to each other. And
who's in the cage?
You see an Azamar silhouette in the cage.
Well, telepathy, 30 feet. The Azamar. Hello.
In your brain, who?
I couldn't read.
What's going on here?
Give me persuasion check.
Yeah, that's 27.
27.
Ooh, Jay knows how to talk.
I unfortunately came here by mistake. I was looking for something particular, found myself in some kind of strange, transformative gateway. And I ended up in their capital city, and I've been brought here for sacrifice.
How many guards are there?
There's 6.
Does the one look like he's in charge?
There's one that looks to be like a sergeant at arms. You know, he's going to the different groups and kind of keeping them like, stand up, come on, pay attention. I know it's a boring gig, but it's good money. You know, just kind of doing that conversation to keep them from falling asleep.
I'm going to I'm going to. I'll first cast friends so I can get advantage
Okay.
on my
Who are you
charisma.
casting that on?
I'm gonna cast on the main guard.
Okay.
It actually just cast it. It doesn't. You don't really. You cast. It
Doesn't
says
that make-
self. It just gives me advantage.
Correct.
Doesn't that knock you out of
Itself.
order?
There's 6. 1 sergeant at arms and 5 guards.
Doesn't that knock you out of your invisibility right in front of them?
No, I can just go. No, I'll go somewhere and become uninvisible and
Okay.
walk up and talk to him.
Okay.
Hello.
Sorry. You'll have to stay your distance.
I understand. I'm Jerry.
As you say that, you watch as the Azamar stands up quickly to kind of hear, and you see them press their face up against the bars. You see that they're wearing kind of like very simple attire, but their chest kind of falls open as they, and you hear the voice coming from the steel bars. Did you say your name was? And you see a tattoo of a golden raven on the guy's chest.
God, we cannot get rid of these guys. We
That's
cannot.
where we're gonna finish today.
Universe, and we still got you golden raven guys.
No, obviously we're going. No, we've just learned a lot of important information because obviously he's going through portals to different multispheres, and we're going to be able to find out how to do that. Why we're vivisecting him? Oh, did I say that?
And we'll be here tomorrow night for the Shattered Kingdom, as we are. Where did we leave off the Shattered Kingdom?
We just got on the dinosaur.
That's right. You're on the City Drift.
Yes.
That's right. You're about to meet the Drifters. This is gonna be fun.
And he got to meet his idol before.
Oh, no.
Maggie's
I have
got
a
a
knife to my neck.
no. You have a tip of a dagger
in
going
my
into
back,
your
right?
ribs.
Yeah,
About to get some serious questions.
yeah.
So we will be here tomorrow night, 7:00-ish. We're not too much of a stickler for that time frame, but everyone, please be kind, be safe, and don't forget, play a game. Bye, everybody. I realized I forgot.
Jerry will rule out the multiverse.
She's growing.